What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Starlight Digest. I can't look at Scott; he's making me laugh. A podcast bringing you line talk and digesting Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. This is episode 199, being recorded on March 1st, 2023. I'm your host, Darth Butcher. I've got Scott Solo here.
Mandalorian's on! What's up, nerds?
Bootleg Joe.
Hi.
And Grand Admiral Franz.
Who cares what our names are? Let's just start talking.
I know, right?
Screw all the housekeeping. Let's just go. Let's
I
talk
know,
about some
right?
Bad Batch right now. Let's
Hey,
go.
guy. Yeah,
Metamorphosis.
I've been waiting all day. I've been. If you guys notice, like here, I've been quiet in our chat because we tend to kind of like just get it all out there, and I'm like, no, we got to talk. We got to talk to the pit. We got
Yeah.
things to go, man. Like
I tried not to talk much. It was we just went there and did it like 5 minutes before the show.
5 minutes
right up
before
until
we
the
go.
end. We're like, oh come on, we weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
do
We had to really withdraw there. So.
Well, that's one of the points today. Yes, is that. So let's keep the. We just talked about this, Scott.
I know.
I know.
Literally, the
It's
last
too
thing
good,
we
though.
said was let's hold
Too
on to the
good.
chat until
Too good.
But yes,
well-oiled machine.
let's slow it down a little bit, and then we've got our Patreons to shout out, and then we'll get to our pit and everything. So yeah, before we want to say thank you for everybody for joining us. Star Wars is back. It's gone. It hasn't gone anywhere. I'm just saying, like we're like thrusting it in our daily lives
better.
again. So
Better.
before we get into all the good stuff, Patreon time.
Yo.
Thank you, one and all Patreon. Oh, wow. Julianne Fernie, thank you so much for that.
Yes.
What do you call that?
Wow.
Super chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Super Chat. Good evening. I'm so salty. I'm gonna be good. Thank you for the show.
Thanks for joining us, Julianne.
Thank you very much.
Oh, that was awesome.
All
That
right,
was neat.
Patreon crew, all of you, thank you so much for being a member of our Patreon crew. We appreciate you. Without you, I wouldn't be able to afford the Xanax I'm going to need to buy to calm myself down after watching new episodes of all of these shows. Okay.
Right.
I've been riding on a high all freaking day. I need to calm the hell down. And you're going to help me with that. So thank you, Matt Logic 44. We got Eric Grubb, Nicholas Schaefer, Ryan and the Star Joes, Cliff, Don and Brady of the Escape Pod podcast on the Red 5 Network, Flavy Davy, formerly of the Nerds with Attitude podcast, Don the Dad Dorn, Justin the Vanilla Thunder. He's back. What?
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 Guilted him.
Justin the
We
Vanilla
guilted him
Thunder is
back. That was awesome.
Woo! All
You
right.
guys are horrible. Poor kid.
Mervine.
He
Gavin
told you
Connor.
threatening his family would work.
Gavin Connor of the
That's
All
hilarious.
Cure Holy Hour podcast. Don and Brady of this guy. I already said that. Yeah. So Brandon and Anya
Awesome.
Upler and AJ from the Forbidden Panel. Thank you, one and all.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yes. That list is growing. List is growing again. Thank you, Justin. Yeah. So our pit is. I'm trying to look at the comments and I'm going there. They're excited to be here. So Scott, who's in there with us being digested?
We got our buddy from the desert with us. Gordon Skalski's here. Matt Logic 44. Don the Dad Dorn's in there. Julianne Fernie again. Thank you once again so
Thank
much
you.
for that super chat. That was awesome. Santo 1414 got Gavin Connor in there. Bootleg Joe, but he doesn't really count. He always counts. Bootleg Joe counts more than you know. We've got Skyrider in there dropping truth bombs about Mando helmets from Target. We got Ubaldo T. We've got, I'm really pumped today. Miss Sunflower, the Sabersmith. Good Lord, everybody's in here. Hey, Rick Jones, what's up, man? What is up, everybody?
Yes. Chris's mic is on. It's just that he's got a little bit of technical difficulty. So and if he's pre-match, I don't know.
I am not pre-mad today.
Not today.
At all. I am pre-happy today. I was probably pre-mad. No, I didn't even go in pre-mad. I went in pre-optimistic. I was like, you know what? Because we talked about it last week.
We did.
Or on
We did.
Monday. On Monday it was.
Yeah.
When we did our 5-hour marathon. It was
Yeah.
somehow they were going to pull off Bad Batch this week. And the rumor was Zillow Beast too, by the way, right? We talked about it.
Nice.
We did.
We
It's it.
mentioned on the show.
We mentioned.
So that scares me. I mean, not scares me, but that gives me really good hope for the next couple episodes of the rest of Bad Batch. Because the next one's supposed to pop off. And just by the way, I saw some people not love this episode of Mandalorian, which is all okay. You can opinion what all you want.
I've heard some different opinions, maybe not love, but some different opinions. Yeah.
But it was fine, whatever. But they said but everybody that saw the premiere says 2 pops off like crazy. Like 2 is where it's at. That's the one. They think number 1 is boring and 2 is amazing.
Wow. Okay.
So that gives them. So next week with our Crosshair episode and this wild number 2. We're not even through this episode of this yet, but I'm ready for next week already.
That's what I'm saying. This whole overlapping thing was already getting me kind of nervous because what we were mentioning how Bad Batch has only way Bad Batch can go is up. At this point. So when so like
don't tempt fate.
Right.
Don't tempt fate.
If it reverts, right? But I just don't. What we got is what we wanted out of the Bad Batch episode, and honestly, the whole thing that we've been talking about since the Zilla Beast was introduced in the Clone Wars. What happened? So
it's like that big. What'd you do with it? You made sure to know you took it. Where'd it go? And we get it 10 years later, or 12 years later, or 15 years later.
As long as we get the answers, we get that we put it in our timeline and we digest it. Now we know. Now the question is, what are they weaponizing it for? The armor or the electricity or whatever?
Let's slow that down. So all pretty neat stuff about the Zillo Beast. So we find out now that the Kaminoans have had it, right? Working on it, but off planet. It was Nala Se's kind of pet project besides Omega. That's what she's been working on, and she knows what the Emperor wants it for, which was cool. So, just to bring it back full circle, that was all really, really cool stuff to learn today.
Yeah. Okay.
So once we hit Mount Tannis, dude, as soon as the opening scene hit, right, it was like, oh, we're gonna get clone stuff all day. Let's go. And I
want to curb the chat. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go. Let's go into Bad Batch. Let's get that in there. Let's get what we're doing that, and then we're gonna hit the Mando hard. So the pit, get your Bad Batch helmets on. Let's make sure they got their Bad Batch helmets on by changing the overlay here. Scott, if I can't find it, help me.
You want me to do it? I got it right here.
Because it's all go for it. I can't use. Thank you. We got so much to go over, so I have to calm down myself. So
Xanax.
But yeah, guys.
I know a place. Not Xanax, but I can chill you out.
Yeah, I'll call you later. Somebody told me, I think it was Scott who told me that this episode of the Bad Batch was like a horror movie, or it might have been Chris. One of you guys told me that, and I was already like, okay. And it's so funny how we've been bringing up Event Horizon a lot.
Mm-hmm.
This reminded me that intro was like Event Horizon. Here's the ship that went to hell, and it was the Zillo Beast who killed the crew.
See, I saw it like Dead Space, the video game.
Oh yeah, that too.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. So the feel and the vibe of this episode was completely different than everything else, and I was like, "See, this is how season 2 should have started." I mean, I'm sure all of the other things were gonna come full circle, but I just kind of want to give you an overlay. Zillo Beast, horror. They told Sid off, kinda. You know what I mean? Finally, so I got some satisfaction in this whole episode.
You also kind of figure out why it is they haven't left her yet either. It's like, sort of.
Oh, that was probably my nitpick. Actually, of all day, that was probably my nitpick. It was like, so what if she
questioned
knows about
it?
you?
They questioned it.
What is she? What does she know? I mean,
I was really happy. I was happy they discussed it. I was happy they were like, okay, let's maybe the tech, the smartest of the bunch, says, oh, she knows too much about us. Like, what could she possibly know more than anybody else does? The Empire knows you're out there. The Empire knows Omega's with you. This is not anything special, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Gordon, we'll try to. I don't know if we'll go linear, Gordon, but we'll be jumping around. So Gordon is watching the Bad Batch as he's watching.
So that creature is the Zillo Beast. Sorry.
Yes. Unleash the Zillo Beast. What was like the biggest cameo that we can get?
Season 2, episode 18 of the Clone Wars. I mean,
that's it. That's the origin.
2010 was the Zillo Beast, and we haven't.
13 years.
It was a big deal, and we haven't heard dick about it in those 13 years. And it's good to finally have that payoff.
Yeah, this brings up a good point, Julianne Fernie too. It's like she's calling it. Sid is a wench. A wench, and she will have Omega in her sights for a reward. She is the big B. Yeah.
See,
maybe when it gets out. Like, okay, so
I don't think she's gonna do it by choice. Go ahead. Sorry. You make it.
I was just gonna say, like, Sid had the information that a down ship an Imperial ship at this point and whatever. So something like what you said before, Chris, it was like Sid, there's somebody in her circle or someone in the corner that may be working against the Bad Batch, and she's using that information almost like, if I tell these guys who you are, you're dead. And maybe she's holding that over them, but I don't think the Bad Batch knows that. But after this episode, there's going to be an APB out on the Marauder, because they're okay. And they're all know that
Sid.
And also that Omega is wanted at this point too, because she's the tool, the leverage for Nala Se, right? Nala Se is the one in prison.
Yeah.
That's refusing to work with the cloners and stuff. And so target on her back, target on the Marauder. The Imperials are going to know this stuff. Sid is going to come in that mix. And I think the turning point is going to be Sid's going to go after that for money, for monetary gains. And that's where they're going to have to just go, okay, we have to go to Rex and
see, I think she will turn, but I don't think for money. I think they're going to force her, but the Bad Batch will think it's for money.
Oh, okay.
That kind of thing. But she really she kind of really doesn't. And somehow make her, we've hated her for so long, right? Yeah. I think they're going to build her up to be a hero for
pathetic character.
Yes. I think Sykes and everybody else has been involved so far is to make them set up for the bad people. If there's going to be one internally, she's going to end up being the good one in the end.
Do we like that? Do we like that? Yeah, look, Joey does it.
It depends on how it plays out, and how it goes. But I can see that working in this show particularly.
I can see it working on this show. I think that's a typical thing that a lot of people do. And like you said, it was that like, mean for this, but then that whole like she saves him at the end, but sacrifices herself, have some kind of conscience. I don't know. Will that redeem my feelings for Sid? I don't know. I still don't
shit
like
character.
It. Yeah, I do like the fact that Omega and they all called her out on it. Like, where were you? You weren't there for us, and why should we help you anymore?
Dude, why do I like Omega for 2 episodes now?
She was great in this one. Yeah. Hey, she's doing the Ahsoka. Is slowly turning.
Oh, but this one was on a dime. This one was like from 2 episodes ago to I can't stand this little kid to Omega's all right. Last episode, this episode.
So
oh man, they ate the pilots, or they ate
the
crew.
The crew,
and her reaction to that.
Her
reaction to that was great.
They ate the crew twice.
Yeah,
that was so awesome. That was the best Omega scene yet.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it from beginning to end. I really did. And a lot of times I will watch the Bad Batch episode, and as it's doing its thing, I'm just like, okay, I find myself wandering around, my house looking for something else and just having it on in the background. But this really caught my attention. And yes, it's because we're getting the Tantis, we're getting the clones, we're getting the Emperor's name again and thrown in there as for the bigger plan. Like, he ordered this while he was the Chancellor before he was the Emperor. I mean, they were getting it all together. Like, why would he have done that then? It's like. Yeah,
there's a lot going on. That's what Tech said too. He's there's a lot going on here, more than we.
That's
know.
What I love about it. Those kind of dialogues and within the characters of like in was it Carson Tekka in Mandalorian saying there's something going on around on under our noses. The Phantom Menace kind of the whole thing about it, right? The Bad Batch saying now it's like there's something bigger going on than just the clones and the Empire. Switching over to an empire, from a republic, and the whole thing about that one, Dr. Hemlock.
Dr. Hemlock. Yeah. Well, okay, let's talk names here.
Please do. Yeah.
What a great name for.
Yeah.
The minute you walk in, this guy's a bastard. He's going to be the biggest bad in this.
Wasn't it
my prediction?
The best performance though? Like on voice absolutely. Acting, animation. And
the actor, it's a whole different show, right?
Yeah.
The actor is one of the main characters from Westworld, who's doing the voice of Dr. Hemlock.
Okay.
And the look of him and everything, it didn't feel like animation. It felt like there was a dude standing up there.
The performance on it was amazing, and I felt it. And again, it was very horror-esque episode, and his sinister attitude towards there's worse things than keeping you in a cage. There's worse and like
His very mellow delivery too is
just
very,
that
the shadows they put on him through the animation different than everybody else's shadows. It's just a really creepy. Dr. Frank, I don't know if it's Dr. Frankenstein or something else, but it's crazy.
yeah, Juliet, but he has one hell of a sexy voice. What's up with that? I agree, man. I was quite smitten with Dr. Hemlock.
He's around for a long time.
He has the one gloved hand, and he kept rubbing it, and I'm like, okay,
think it's robotic.
Does he have like maybe it's cloned. Maybe he has a cloned.
I hope it's cloned.
It's Mace Windu's hand. It's like,
it's got a black man's hand.
It's Vecna's hand.
That's not all, Joey. This guy's
right as he took a drink. What is wrong with you, man?
But yeah, guys. So and then the whole thing about the this is going, you know, for the Emperor, you know, and then that gets us our wheels spinning. It's like the cloning facility, so we can live forever. Well, I'm assuming I don't know if you guys are. It's the live forever. The whole transfer of essence to
it's all part of him. It's all part of him. Yeah.
And so why? Well, okay. So with this plot point on it, they Nala Say's not talking. So Hemlock, it's Hemlock or Hemlick.
Hemlock.
Like the poison flower.
Like the poison flower.
Got it. Okay. So he goes, you know, they go and get the senator that was captured and bring him there because it's like, if she won't help us, maybe he can get us a way to do it. And he was saying the key is Omega, the girl, for her to talk. Now that's because she's something special to her. I'm thinking, this is my thoughts, okay? And I'm not gonna. Don't worry, Miss Sunshine. I'm not gonna go so far into the Force thing.
No,
but
I after the show last night.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like Marco's right.
Right. There's a reason why she sent her away and wanted her away from all this madness. And I'm like, and if that's the puzzle, it's almost like, okay, twofold. Is she the key to unlocking the cloning bodies to handle Force users? Maybe not she's a Force user herself, but something in her will be able to like clone Force users, like was a whole EU problem. Remember? Or is it just that?
Oh, it's still a problem. It's still a problem in canon.
It's still a problem. So
that's how Rey came about, was from flawed clones.
That's right.
Clone, you know.
Right.
That's right. Her dad was a clone of the Emperor, and
and the Emperor can't clone his own body. So I mean, there's definitely still issues with cloning.
Yeah. So
even 30 years later, they're working it out.
Like I said, I wasn't going to go heavy into it, but I was just like, yeah, I'm. And like I said, I'm gonna say this, and I say I don't think she'll be a Force user, but I think that she has the key to unlock the ability for Force users to be cloned. That's what I'll.
She's something special that they were using in the experiments at the same time.
Yeah,
for sure.
Right. Yeah,
for sure. And that's where it's kind of like, oh,
see, Skywriter. I like Skywriter. Here we go. Yes. Okay. I'm going revert. No. I'm going back.
I don't want that far, man. But I can see some instincts or something. Maybe that explains a little bit. I've been fighting you for a couple of weeks, man, and I don't know why halfway through this episode I'm all, damn.
I always look at like some things too. Like, do I like that? Do I like that kind of direction? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay with it. You know, because it'll propel that. Again, we're always looking for those little puzzle pieces for the sequels and all that stuff.
I just think at this point now we're getting too far into the Fett lineage, getting even Force powers, right? Because that's really what she is a Fett.
Yes. There is a problem with that. And again, I remember back in the day when this is before Disney and
that would make Grogu not the next Mandalorian Jedi. By the way, she could potentially be a Mandalorian Jedi.
Sure,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Like I said, I think I'm leaning more towards like she's not a Force user, but you know, her body's able to handle that stuff. Because again, you know, someone brought up the point for me a long time ago about like Han Solo might be Force sensitive because he's such a good, you know, I go, no, he's just a hot shot. He's just an ace pilot, like maneuvers and all that stuff. So not everybody has to have the Force to be good at what they do. I think Wedge was another one that was in question a long time ago.
Wedge was specifically pointed out in the Rogue Squadron books. He actually went to Luke, and Luke said, no, dude, you're calm down. You don't have any Force.
Right.
So Julianne Fernie, but what does this have to do with cloning Azilla? Why are they cloning Azilla? That's the big question, really.
That's the question with the Azilla. Now, Omega was a subsequent added piece of information because of this whole plot. Like that's a whole thing. Like but so the Zillo Beast, their tech just deduced it to they're using it to weaponize it, and it was a callback from when they captured it and one that attacked Coruscant. Also,
and that's not the only one. I think there was multiple of these things. Right?
That was just one on that ship that
right.
took over, and there was multiple ones. Absolutely. So
they're using weaponized as far as bringing beasts in, because I don't think Sith are adverse to using beasts as weapons, right?
Not at all.
No, why not? Yeah.
Right, and also if Bane had skin armor. You know, I mean, there's a way to if you can mess around and put that on you to make yourself invulnerable.
Yeah,
make the next clone invulnerable in some way.
Well,
make your skin
okay,
with
so
those
are
scales.
you? But okay, so you're going with like clones and stuff like that. I was going for technology, like tech, like Death Star paneling, Star Destroyer, something where it couldn't be affected by ship battles and stuff like that. So because of the Zillo Beast the main thing was its armor, plating. It was impenetrable.
What also,
but yeah,
it also brings in energy and grows larger and more powerful. I mean, there's a lot of good Sith type power in here.
A lot of possibility.
Yeah.
So it could be
maybe it's their version of Beskar. Like they're trying to synthesized Beskar, you know what I mean? Like,
that too.
Since at this point, like Mandalorians have theirs, and they were always going to be in struggle with that. And the Emperor was obviously taking all the Beskar from the Purge and all that stuff.
But that's later,
right? But I mean, so like maybe this program fails, and then they have to go. It's like that. So that could be.
Well, they obviously never used this armor on stormtroopers, so we know it fails to some extent.
So, yeah, Joey in the chat. Joey does not like Omega as a Force user.
A tad.
Or Rey as a Skywalker, apparently.
Or Rey as a Skywalker, but it's all true, all of it. But yeah, that's going to be interesting to see where this goes. Now, okay, this better not be a thing in season 3, episode 16, where we find out what they used the Zillo Beast's armor for. You know what I mean?
It's going to be in Ahsoka.
I'm okay with that. Because I heard that the next week's episode is a hot. That's when Crosshair gets in the mix of everything, and for the next 2 episodes after that.
This is when we should see.
Heavy, so.
Okay, so here's probably the plot points here. We have by the way, probably one of the cooler things here are the commandos are all over Mount Tannis. Right?
Oh yeah,
we're getting all sorts of commandos.
Even look like Scorch is there. That's cool.
Yeah, and Scorch that's Scorch. It said it in the credits this time.
Yes.
Last time it said it didn't say the credits. This time
no.
It said D. Bradley Baker was all the clones and Scorch.
And Scorch, gotcha.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. But he's going to go off now looking for Omega. He's going to end up recruiting Crosshair. Now you're going to have Scorch and Crosshair together going after the Bad Batch, and anybody else from Delta Squad that's now an Imperial Commando.
This is where somebody should die at this point,
down,
right? I
dude.
mean,
dude. Okay, these guys. I imagine these guys are all the Death Troopers and Royal Guards going forward. All these guys.
That'd be cool.
All these commandos, man.
I might have said Crotcher, Skywriter. Yeah. Sorry, I might have.
What'd you say, Crosshair?
I said Crosshair, but I might have said Crosshair. So
that was not an accident.
It's because he was picking some out of his teeth right there.
Yeah, it was all.
Oh no! Come on now.
You would think because of the beard.
Getting these zingers every time Joey takes a drink. Every time Joey takes a drink, you're saying something. Just throwing him off his game.
Don't drink and podcast.
He's
so wait, yeah. So okay. So going back what you were saying.
What was I saying?
Well, you were talking about like Crosshair and Scorch going after the Bad Batch and the APB on the Marauder at this point, and Omega, all these things. I mean,
they're getting Omega, dude. They're getting Omega. The rest of the season is going to be saving Omega, like we tried to save Grogu.
I'm going to put this out there. Who's the first Bad Batch member to die then?
Tech.
Because I see it coming.
They built Tech up so much this season, and that's the only.
They
really did on Tech, dude.
They really did.
He's the only one I give a shit about right now.
I was thinking Echo when he comes back in the mix, but yeah,
twice.
I think
you can't kill Echo again, dude.
I think what they'll do is they'll take out Tech, and then Echo will come back and fill that void, and maybe
because
that's a good point. They're kind of the same.
Yeah.
At this point, I want to see they are kind of redundant.
Well, skill wise,
I want to see Rex and Cody and all them join the Bad Batch. I want to see an expansion of this team to where maybe we have different adventures. Maybe one part of the Bad Batch team goes and does one thing while the other goes and does something else. You know,
I'm trying to wrap this up in 5 more episodes. Like you want more seasons.
I can kind of see it being. I can see it more being Tech just because the way they've pushed him out in the
right. Yeah,
Hunter and kind of put Hunter back in the background a little bit more.
They make us love a character.
All that being said, though, they've kind of, and Chris and I touched on this a couple weeks ago, where it brought a certain a certain aspect of his personality to light, and it's somebody who has that kind of almost like an Asperger's or some kind of a
he's on the spectrum.
He's on the spectrum, exactly. And would they kill off somebody who would happen to be the first person on the spectrum that they've introduced to?
I think that makes it even more meaningful. I think that makes us cry. Yeah. I think I'll lose it if they take Tech out. Anybody else right now, I'll be like, oh, that sucks. Wrecker died, and Wrecker was my favorite off the jump. Right? Yeah, I loved Wrecker. At this point, I'm like, I did Wrecker, but I mean, it's like, whatever.
Well, they gave Tech a meaningful role and a personality, and again, that
he's the narrator of the show half the time.
Yeah, well, he took over the role of Hunter's role. He took Hunter's role. Like there's some
Omega.
And you're right. When they do that, that's when they kill a character, and then Hunter will step back into that role.
Yeah. All Hunter's done over the last several episodes is groan or grunt.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Well, I think like Chris kind of said right now, like last season, Wrecker was the one that everyone was getting emotionally
worried about, and so for sure.
We were like, we were worried that maybe he was going to be the one that gets killed, and this season it's obviously Tech.
Yeah, they might save them all, and like I said, in 5 seasons
and maybe
later,
none of them die. But if somebody does, right now they're setting us up for heartbreak, and that's
That's why I asked the question of just like, okay, where our future stories go? It's like
maybe it's Crosshair who dies saving saving Omega from whatever. Maybe that's his turn back to the light side, and he takes the fall, because I don't think there's any Crosshair coming back into the fold. I mean, but I could see him
joining the team.
I could see him sacrificing himself as a redemption in his brother's eyes to, save Echo and save Omega and Tech, to save his brothers, from his transgressions,
See, I like the opposite of that a little bit. Sorry, Chris. I like the opposite. I like where Crosshair kills another member, gets killed in the process, doesn't come back, because there's at this point then nobody in Star Wars besides the Emperor is a redeemable character. And sometimes we need to remind. I know that we see a lot of evil and bad things happen in Star Wars, but sometimes we need to remind Star Wars that there's evil for the sake of evil. And I'm not saying that Crosshair is evil. I'm just saying that he's on a different path, that he sees the Bad Batch as the enemies. You know what I mean? And
Julianne Fernie, Omega did save Crosshair. Now it's his turn.
But and then thinking about Echoes probably is the one, because there's another point about season 3 on here. Saber Smith mentioned season 3.
Already
and
in production.
You know what? By taking something out, you don't replace him with Echo, because Echo isn't as a personality. Right. So maybe you do kill Echo a second time.
He's the least relatable.
He is the least relatable one. And and I say what happens is they're hiding on Hoth. They go to Hoth to save him. Echo dies on Hoth, and that's why it's Echo based later.
It's funny because they brought Echo in. I want to say they brought Echo in to try and get all of us attached to the Bad Batch, because I mean they made a big deal about Echo being saved in those episodes in season 7 of the Clone Wars. But to be frank, all I remember of Echo before that was he was a clone who died. There were so many clones that died in the first couple seasons of Clone Wars. It was just like, we have to save Echo. Who? It's
the first handful, Fives and Echo and all the those guys, the rookies that everybody was close to, and then when you start losing them all, blah blah blah, then you get one back, and that was the thing. You couldn't bring Fives back. You couldn't do any of that. But
that's another great reason to revisit Clone Wars too, is Echo's arc. And then how he came back into the fold and stuff. It was actually, remember, he was the one that was captured by the Droid Army, plugged in, and then the Droid Army knew all the tactical.
I remember that. I don't remember his original story, and
I don't think there was. Well, I think that was just the one that he was left behind, presumed dead, and then
of that group though. He's a specific. Group. He was that specific group they followed from episode 2. Right. Whatever it was, and they followed that group.
How about Omega dying trying to save somebody?
Nah,
I don't think.
Not yet. She will eventually, but not yet.
Yeah. I don't. Not until the end.
Death, please.
I don't know, man. Like this. The series doesn't seem to go. The series doesn't seem to be heading in any kind of direction like that because, well, so far, let's just put it that way. Unless
they will not kill a little girl.
Yeah,
we got a lot of cloning.
Not kill a little girl.
We got a lot of cloning stuff going on in the Mandoverse right now. What if somehow Omega gets tied into that? She's still alive, right? And then she ends up running into Boba Fett, and then we have a big old family reunion live action, and it's Daniel Logan playing Omega.
There's your role that you got.
Danielle Logan.
I'm in, man. Let's do it.
Oh my god!
All right, I think I think we kind of nailed it on Bad Batch.
Yeah,
actually, it was pretty damn good batch this week.
It was great. Here's the thing: it's the episode that we thought we were going to get last, and we got it now. And now it's
because of this right here.
Yeah,
because of that.
That made me so happy right there.
When we're going, I was like, "Oh, we're doing this now." I
haven't got out of literally sat up in my chair, right? And I was watching it like 2:30, I think is when I was watching it. And we're hitting it today.
Yeah, this is it.
And I have not done that for this show yet.
Yeah, because that whole intro with the horror, I was expecting like just a horror themed episode, and then they went here, and then they name drop, and it was like, okay, now we're getting stuff I got to write down.
We had this. We had Republic Commandos, for God's sakes. I mean, the whole episode was really just and I swear to God, this creepy dude is this guy.
Yes. He's the greatest.
The Shadows,
Dr. Hemlock.
Yeah.
What a great name, and he's got that classic villain lighting where it's just his eyes lit and everything else is in shadow, and his delivery was incredible.
Yeah.
As you can see, I had to create these things, so I'm using them really quick before we move on to.
I was going to say we talked about all these things. I thought you might have lost it or it didn't work.
No.
I say I had a chance because I take a lot of time taking screenshots for you to send. I'm like, you don't want to use them? Fine, I won't send them anymore.
Well, we didn't actually hit the bullet points this time around, so I'm just doing a real quick recap. We had Zillo Beasts.
No, there's a great.
We had a Godzilla
moment episode too.
Yeah,
it was beautiful
really was
episode.
beautiful.
There always is, dude.
They are there. I have no complaints with that. I really don't.
Before we move on, I do have one thing I want to bring up, and that is this scene right here.
Oh, yes.
The Republic Commandos, since this town on this planet saw the Zillo Beast, they are charged with taking hostage all the members of this town.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're loading them up into
every witness
to be dealt with.
To be dealt with. Exactly.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
But a lot of the characters in this shot also happen to be classic vintage Star Wars action
I was
figures.
just thinking, like, as soon as I saw Walrus Man walk by, I was like, there it is. There's our circle gets a square kind of stuff. And
we do need to do that.
Why don't we hit that real fast? And then
all right, here we go. One and all, grab your bat. I know we don't really care because we got Mando to get into, and we are gonna get into Mando. But grab your Bad Batch bingo cards.
Right. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get many on this one. Not as many.
I don't think so either. But you know what? We've already got
typical ones.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. We've got one bingo so far from Matt Logic 44. We need some more bingos here. Yeah. So, all right, we're going to start with the top as always. And you guys got to go along because I was so into this, I didn't actually play myself today. So,
sure.
Tech says how smart he is.
Of course. That's like always.
He doesn't say it, but I think he proves it and everybody listens to him.
That's every episode.
Every
episode.
Yeah.
There were several narrow escape scenes.
Yes, there was.
In this episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
So really, really like that. Omega shows incredible aim. She was taking pot shots at
she
the
just
Zillo
shot.
Beast.
I mean, I don't.
How did you miss?
She hit.
I know. How can you miss?
A stormtrooper could miss, I bet.
We're trying to help people get bingos here. So yes, Omega showed incredible aim, damn it.
Okay, all right. I'll give it to you.
Yularen did not show up.
Yularen
Is
who?
Wrecker confused?
He asked what, but it just because he sounds doofy, it makes him sound confused. But he asked what would that be for? It wasn't confused. He was asking a question.
Right, he was asking the question,
and it was a legit question. Because there was even follow-up from someone else on the question. I'm like, see,
right,
come on, it wasn't even bad. I tried
right,
so
you're
hard
right.
on record today. I did.
You're right. You're right.
Right. So a new building or ship that is from old concept art.
Any of those ships or anything?
I haven't been able to figure out yet. I was hoping one of the ones that was holding the
shuttles
Zillow
or-
Beast, but nothing I noticed.
Yeah.
Mount Tantus. Wasn't Mount Tantus the look of it designed after old concept art though? Because seeing those mountains, or is my memory just focused in on the last episode of Bad Batch?
I'm gonna look it up as you guys continue. I'll look it up.
That was the that Mount Tantus was the exact. It was their concept art. That's how we knew the name because they had it. Was it Doug Chang or whoever did the
Macquarie?
No, recent. It was recent stuff.
Well, Doug Chang will do it then, yeah.
Yeah, it was his. It was for the Mandalorian. I mean, for this. Sorry, for Bad Batch.
So we did not have an appearance of Cody. Wrecker, did Wrecker hit anything?
I know he had to have hit the monster. There's no way he didn't, right?
No, he didn't.
He was shooting at it, but I don't.
Shooting. That's it. Yeah. No punching.
Lame.
He got taken by the monster, right? At one point, but then
I don't know. Did an alien creature attack? Of course, an alien creature attacked. You know, it was big Zero. It was a Zero beast. Omega tells someone what to do.
Yeah, but it's not. I know I heard that with Joey's tone right there, but I don't. She did, but I don't. I didn't take it the way she used to.
Yeah, I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one, but
no, it's just saying this is what we do.
Right,
she gave a suggestion, and everybody went with it. It was like. It was better, and I'm like, are they listening to us, or was this always? It was always planned.
Yeah.
Well, even the scene whenever she's telling off Sid, it almost feels like she's telling. You know, I would give that as part of it too. You know, you left us behind. Yeah, so it's a take charge moment from Omega, and I think we definitely got it. So I say Omega tells someone what to do counts.
Hey, real quick, Papa Schmitty, we're just wrapping up bingo. We're done talking about it, so you can hang on. We'll be done with Bad Batch in 30 seconds.
Oh yeah. Mando's coming.
All right, so here we go. Let's speed this along. A sad Omega scene.
Yes,
we had and we definitely had a horrified Omega scene.
Every Omega scene is sad.
Vintage action figure appearance. Absolutely, we did. Omega didn't listen. I think Omega listened. I think she listened.
Yeah, there was nothing not to listen.
There was one point where she didn't, but she did it for the right reason. But Tech said, "Let me download the rest of this information. Hold on," and she unplugged him. And said no, and let's go. Oh. So she didn't listen to him say hold on. So
she did tell him what to do.
But that was, we get that. We get. No, she didn't really say let's go. I said that. It was kind of paraphrasing. But he said don't, because I'm not done downloading. And she just took the plug and ran. So that's her not listening. I gave a check mark for that one.
All right, cool. So Omega doesn't listen.
Yep.
The crew did split up.
Yep.
Yes, they did.
Omega and Omega and Tech went one way and the others went the other way, so that counts. No Rampart because he's in prison right now.
Right.
Mention that they are in debt.
No mention.
They did not.
Sid wanted them to make more money. That was the only thing, but nothing like we need this because we need to pay off whatever. You know, they didn't mention it, but
yeah. Let's see. Set on stun. No stun shots in this episode. No sign of Tarkin. Hunter hasn't smiled in half a season, so that doesn't.
Yeah, right. He's been moody.
He really has. Omega outsmarts someone. I almost think that kind of counts where she was taking Tech's gadget out of the machine and tell him, "Come on, let's go."
Fair enough. But 2 for 1. Really, go for it.
2 for 1 there. Okay.
2 for 1.
No sign of Rex.
But they mentioned it. Does that count?
Oh, that's a good question. Marco, as our showrunner, does that count?
Well, then we would have to count Palpatine.
Oh, yeah. Hey, how about this? Think about this. Do I count if this said Thrawn on it? Yeah. And I heard Thrawn's voice, what would I say?
Oh yeah, if it's
sorry, if this is Mando Bingo season 2, and Ahsoka said, "Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn?"
Yes, I would absolutely count it.
There you go.
I would. Wow. I absolutely would.
Because it doesn't say cameo.
Okay, you're right. It just says
right.
Rex.
Okay.
So there you go, everybody. If his name was mentioned, so we're gonna give you that. We're gonna give you that square.
There you go.
Sid Clown's a Bad Batch member.
I think he
Bandana.
clowns them all. Like,
She
yeah.
called him Bandana for sure.
Yes,
Oh,
she
yeah.
did.
Mission always goes
Mission-
bad.
Mission always goes bad.
I don't know why they hire these guys and they can't
Nope.
complete one mission.
Not one.
That's right. Let's see. We've got Crosshair. He is not
Okay.
mentioned nor
Nope.
seen, but Palpatine is mentioned
All
by
right.
Is
name.
absolutely, man. There was some
All right.
little history lesson with him too.
Yeah,
Okay,
we helped out
now-
a bit there. That was good.
Yeah,
We
look,
did,
Papa
but I
Smitty
s-
said he got bingo 4 weeks straight.
What?
Actually,
We've got to get
Yeah.
some other bingo wins in here. We like Matt Logic 44 quite a lot, but you know what? Damn it, other people got to start winning this thing.
Man, he's gonna be loaded up by the time we figure out what the prize is.
Oh, I know, right?
I've actually got an idea for the prize, and
Guitar.
Okay.
no.
One of your guitars back here?
No, what I am thinking as far as the prize goes is a
Live on
HasLab.
TV. I can't see you.
I'm trying to get rid of the overlay. There we go. I'm thinking of a Hothwampa, the
Oh.
HasLab, or not HasLab, but Hasbro Pulse exclusive Hothwampa in the 40th anniversary Empire
yeah.
Strikes
I
Back
want that
box.
one.
So you can do the Wampa Stomp with us.
Yes.
You could do it like the classic cartoons, but you got to use the box. You go Wampa Stomp with the box and the screen.
My arm.
No, you got to take that out. That's the stipulation. You got to take that out.
No,
of
there
the
is
box.
no stipulation at all. This is from my own personal collection. So no, there is no stipulation. You do whatever the hell you want to do with this thing whenever you get it. Wampa Stomp or not.
Yeah, but Wampa stop that like button.
I'm gonna play
By the
bingo
way,
now.
too. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
With
All
all
right.
of those extras that we gave you, somebody has to have a bingo.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right.
right. Whew.
So
All
that is
right.
going to be our prize.
Cool.
Well, guess what time
Scott-
it is?
Scott, you want to do the transition?
Oh, sure. Let me do the transition again. We're gonna change the channel on the HoloNet really quick. So give me just 1 second here. All right.
The interface is dropped. Mandalorian 3 premiered today. I was looking forward to this for a long time. A lot of speculation, a lot of our discussions go in all these directions. I'm gonna say like what this episode really kind of set the pace and the tone and the setting the pieces on the table. Here's Bo-Katan. Here's Grief Karga. Here's where Cara Dune. Where's Moff Gideon. All these things were set in place, and I really enjoyed that rather than be like go in here and something else completely happens, and I'm like, what happened to this and this and that? And then 5 episodes later, we started getting those information. So
Yeah,
I really
I loved it.
appreciated the pacing and the information that this one did, and what Chris was saying that's the purpose of this episode, and episode 2 is going to just get like explode out of the gate.
Right.
That is to me, that is a perfect way to start a season.
Oh,
An
yeah.
already established show, rather,
And
so-
let me tell you, it was only 30-something minutes, right?
Yeah.
It was probably the most efficient TV show I've watched, especially
Yeah,
specifically
really
Star Wars.
was, dude.
Because
Yeah.
we got so much stuff in the shortest amount of time. Like people were complaining about runtime. I'm like, dude, they could have made that an hour and a half, and then a whole bunch of here's the ship flying a little more and landing a little more. They had scenes like that, but it was like I'm landing, I'm
It
out.
was- Yeah,
when you watch
yeah.
other stuff like Bad Batch in particular is why I caught on to this. I watched them in the hallways. I know it was kind of horror-esque, but it took a long time to walk through the hallways, and it was quiet, not a lot happening. You think back to other shows, and a lot of that kind of stuff happening, signing papers, doing things, putting codes in. There wasn't a lot of that stuff. It was boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. And when it did do the other stuff, it was meaningful, like the armorer doing things or
I loved
stuff
it.
like that. It was
Yeah.
so efficient. Dude, I had 2 pages of notes. They were like 40. I don't even know how that happened. There was so
When's
much
the last
good
time you
stuff.
took notes for a show?
That
It's been a while.
not for
Been a
Bad
while.
Batch, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But I had a page on Bad Batch, and that was weird.
I know. That's weird too. I know. They got us.
Yeah.
Joey and Scott, what were your guys' initial like? Are you cool with this, or do you were like, hey, that was kind of like lackluster, or what's your
The
thoughts on
episode
it?
itself?
Yeah, just the way it was.
Joey, you want to go first?
presented.
No, go ahead. Go ahead and go.
Okay. You know what? Overall, I felt like the episode as a whole was a whole lot of setup for the season.
Sure.
I don't feel like there was a whole lot of meat and potatoes here. I feel like it was built for people that might not have necessarily watched the Book of Boba Fett to figure out why he has a ship and why it is that he's seeking out these pools. Because I mean, he goes to the armorer to explain again, and she tells him again what to do. So he's like, okay, so you're really serious this time. Okay, I'm really going to go.
Yeah.
And it kind of sets that in emotion a little bit. So I think a lot of that for us who watched the Book of Boba Fett was a little unnecessary exposition, but at the same time, I loved every freaking second of it, and I don't give a damn. I'm like, okay, you got to tell us again.
Didn't have any of that.
Dude, I was super shocked.
The recap didn't have any of the Grogu picking his.
It played it like it was last week's episode. Like they said, okay, well, here's what's happened to sketch. Because whenever you get a preview like that, it's like, here's all the things that happened in the past that matter today, right? Mm-hmm. And I figured it was going to be 2 seasons worth that are going to matter today, and Book of Boba Fett. Yeah. And
I've seen everybody that has been reviewing this episode telling people, if you didn't watch the Fett, you got this and this and that, and this is the pieces. And not that I don't see anybody really confused out there, especially our community. We're good with it. But I don't see anybody asking, but there's a lot of people saying exactly what we're saying. Like the show didn't do it. So let's let us do it. You know what I mean?
I just looked forward to it because the Kenobi one was so well done. I was excited. I was like,
I almost expected it because of that sentiment of like, not everybody, because it's not in the Mandalorian Disney Plus section. You gotta seek it.
You have to. You really have to look for it too.
You have to look for it. It's one little, but go. So
yeah. But as a whole, I thought it was excellently done.
I love the setup.
I enjoyed the episode, but it just felt like a lot of setup. Is all.
Well, that's
I dug it.
Joey, no, cool, Joey.
Yeah, you knew it was going to be a really good episode because it was just one episode. So you knew we were going to get a lot of information. It was going to answer a lot of questions because it was just one episode. It wasn't, we weren't getting 2 episodes. So
right. That wasn't a double.
When they did the recap, they started off with IG-11.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
And there was a big reason why. Yeah. So I mean, I like that. I like the way they answered the Cara Dune thing, and it's like you said, they didn't wait till a couple episodes down. They answered everything, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
and the episode was like that. It was bam, bam, bam.
It was.
Bam. Yes,
it was. Yeah.
So I enjoyed it. I loved it.
No, it was really cool. And I'm seeing the pit has the same kind of feelings. It's just great, solid start. It wasn't an explosion of things like make us fist pump in the air, but it was enough to be like, damn, I'm in. Like we hit the ground running. I'm in. Let's go. 7 episodes left, or let's do this ride and see what happens. And I'm already like thrusting. I didn't come out here going like scratching my head like the season the episode 1 of season 2 of Bad Batch. That's like, wait a second. You know what I mean? Like shake them and like, we set some things up. You didn't answer, but there's some things in the pit we're going to definitely get to. Miss Sunflower saying like somebody translated the Mando scripture that Din gave the armor, and it's a verse from the Bible. Yeah, it's absolutely. What? Yeah,
is it really?
I saw that same thing. We'll get into that when it comes up.
That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, someone translated from the language. It was like they had to flip it upside down, reverse it, and do something to read it because of how it was presented on the screen. But very, very cool. Yeah, all those recaps are meant for a reason. Sometimes, if you really want to get what you're about to see, watch the recap. I usually skip them, but watch the recaps because it tells you where direction they're going to go to, like revisiting IG-11 and the purpose of that. Which I do have some questions for when we get into that too, because
I do too.
Yeah.
So on this point, so for my piece, so we talked about what's going to happen with Moff Gideon later, right? As one of the rumors.
Yes. Yeah.
This IG-11 piece was a rumor too that I had heard, and I had told Marco this last week or 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And there's more to it. Did I tell you the rest of it? I'm not going to say.
You didn't. No, you didn't tell me. No.
There's more to it, and if it's obviously going to be true at this point, and it's going to be cool. So I'm like, oh wow, really?
So Chris,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put it on here. Chris read some rumored spoilers, right?
I don't want to put him on the show all the time.
No, and I asked him just to give me one, and he gave me IG-11 one. I was like, okay, don't go more. And then he said that came true. And then I asked him point blank. I said, of the stuff that you know, are you excited and cool with it as if all that stuff comes to fruition? And Chris said 100 million%. So I'm like,
dude,
and like, because we share the same brain, I'm like, I'm cool with it too. So you know what I mean?
Chris, you and I gotta talk after the show.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I got a list of things.
So I like the fact that if, like I said, I'm excited when people we relate to get excited, that even if they have spoilers, because then I know that it's a good direction. I'm not going to be like,
because even knowing the other part, I didn't know how it was going to get there. And do I have a little? Does it make you go, okay, dude, really? But
yeah,
it's still awesome.
But sometimes when you
I'm buying it.
Sometimes when you see it happen, you're like, okay, on paper maybe it didn't translate well. Now it's.
So the opposite Attack of the Clones effect. Got it.
What the hell?
Wow.
It works better on paper than it does.
Why are we doing that here right now? It's not cool. But a real quick point on this episode. I loved that it wasn't in the volume. Right, that was live outside and stuff. That was no volume shots, and you could tell it felt right.
Navarro,
these shots. This was, oh my god, dude, what the hell?
That was so bad.
Okay, it's such a good thing. We got Mandalorian background again, more story. We got so many things in this, and this giant creature again, right? Which looked like a turtle in the concept art. They turned into
it had more of a beak,
This is an Alaturtle gator.
Alaturtle gator. Nice. When it came up, for my first thing was, I'm all, okay, wait, we're at a Mandalorian serum. Are we going to see a mythosaur or something?
That's what I thought. I was like, mythosaur! And I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, what's this?
And it ain't big enough, and they didn't yell mythosaur or nothing. But you know what? Here's the thing. This episode made me happy. And I don't sit there, and I'm, especially during the Frick family reunion in there on IG-11, right? I mean, I was literally, and I've watched this episode like 6 times. And I wanted to be ready for this episode. For this tonight. And I loved it. I grinned ear to ear during that entire part, dude, every time. Even if I was walking around with it in the background, I wanted to see that scene, and I would make sure I watched it. I would make sure I sat there and get all my
much
focus.
to say about Babu Frick's scene, and it's all good. It's all good.
So besides that, I mean, I won't get into any more of my thoughts. You know, it was just a great episode, super happy. And you know what? This is what I said when Star Wars feels right. This is Star Wars at its best. I know you guys love Andor. I get it. Andor is beautifully done. Andor is solid. Andor is cool. But it is not the Star Wars like I grew up with.
It's not the end all be all, but it is.
Well, it's not magical and make you. It isn't magical. It's military, right? I mean, we're in the magical world here. We're in the fantasy world right now, and that makes me happy.
Remember when I was talking about the sequels? How one part of Star Wars was fantastic, and the other part was just horrible. Well, Andor filled that horrible part. I mean, that was horrible. In that part, and you're right. What the Mandalorian's doing is something completely different than what we know from the original trilogy to the prequels and stuff. It's all the myths and legends and scum and villainy coming to the screen.
Yeah, and with politics and other stuff going on.
Everything going on. And it's real fast before Scott, I have a thing. So when George Lucas announced 3 more movies back in 97, 98, we wanted episodes 7, 8, and 9. Okay. He gave us 1, 2, 3. Okay, whatever. This to me seems like a very refreshing continuation. Well, it obviously is a continuation, but it's a very refreshing, different take on what 7, 8, and 9, is filling in those gaps for us as what we wanted a long time ago. The continuation of Luke, Leia, and Han, their adventures moving forward, right? But not getting that more of the same story of like, oh, here's a new big bad guy, we defeat him, and then whatever. Like, somehow Palpatine returned. It's like, okay, so this is filling a very, very good itch for me. And the way they're doing, using the Mandalorian lore and that whole behind the scenes politics going on, it's just epic. It's epic.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
So I want to point out Papa Schmitty's comment here that he kept thinking it was a flashback.
Yes, I did too.
And he was thinking, dang, how old is Paz in the armor? And I agree with you. At first I thought, is this how Din was turned into child of the Watch?
I thought we were on Mandalore. I thought we were at first.
And then I kept thinking, oh no, that can't. Well, maybe it is. And then all of a sudden, this mofo shows up
Yeah.
and saves the day.
Yeah,
And I'm just like, oh man.
Grogu
I
pops
thought it
up
was
in
him at
waves.
first, too.
yeah, Grogu pops up in ways. Dude. Yeah.
Every scene Grogu was in, I'm going to have a pop for every single one. I
You
guarantee
are.
I'm going to have an
Yeah.
N1 with him in it. I know that's
Yeah.
coming. I'm going to have a every single scene. Him in a chair, him grabbing Reese's Pieces, him doing whatever the hell. It's going to be Grogu for days, dude.
And
Yeah.
did any of you think at the scene in Lord of the Rings where the orc says, "Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys"? I mean, it's just gore.
I do now.
And goo
Hey.
everywhere. And
Scott, can you grab the one with the flags?
Yeah,
Look at the
please.
flags
Okay,
for me.
I was just going to mention about the ceremony.
So, yeah.
I didn't see that one. I'll see if I can find it real quick.
Please, because that was a specific one I put in there on purpose.
Okay, I'll look for it really fast.
Okay.
But
Well,
talk about it.
Well,
Okay,
the reason is because there's 2 flags coming out. This is where I didn't jump on the ceremony because this is a very important ceremony, right?
Yeah.
There's flags of every clan already there.
Yes.
Except for one. So you come out with the Mandalorian, the mythosaur, right? Which is
The overall
over everybody.
Yeah.
And the other one is not the wheat. It's like a blossom.
Yeah,
cherry blossom.
Yeah.
Right. It's the House of Vizsla.
That's Vizsla, yeah.
Right. So
Up front.
that's Paz's. That kid's becoming part of Paz's clan.
His foundling.
So it's either his kid and they wait a while to do it,
Right.
or he's
Or
a foundling that Paz brought in, and now he's his foundling.
Yeah,
Like
it was
Grogu is to Din.
because in the background
did not-
there was that other one, that Wolf Clan one.
That
Didn't
screenshot did not come through. I have
Oh,
every other
bummer.
screenshot, but not that one.
Damn. Well, poo.
Sorry, man.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so Miss Sunflower is saying that she said that too. That was Clan Vizsla
Yeah.
in the flag. So yeah, this is where there's no loss to attention of detail, right?
Right.
In these series, and as it might be a fleeting kind of cool little thing on screen, no, these are the things that we will like plug in and do our thing with. And I love the fact that the armor left, and there was a lot more of them at this point, and they're continuing that tradition, the Children of the Watch, that whole thing. The ceremony is so important, and they're utilizing, not using Mandalore for the baptism stuff. They're redoing the rules, and I'm thinking like, well, if you're doing this, why don't you just have Din re-anoint himself the way you're doing this now? I mean, you can't do it on Mandalore; it's gone. You're telling him it's gone, and you're also
Right.
telling him you can't be a Mando. So,
And you also know there's so many planets in the Mandalore system. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Bo-Katan's
We visit
on
one a
her
little later.
She's on
Yeah.
her home planet later. Her family's home planet. It's like they're not even from Mandalore. Here it is.
right?
There you go.
I'm just
Right
saying,
on.
like, if they can reestablish themselves doing it this way, then if I was Din, I'd show up. I'm like, hey, look at you're baptizing this kid. Why can I get it? Why can I get on this?
But look how many Mandos there are now. So we're
Yeah.
looking good there. We've got
Right.
and the flags. So each clan is a different flag, and that one comes coming out. So I just love the fact that they did before I realized that, right? And I had to go back and figure out what that was.
Yeah.
You could tell that Paz was watching closely.
Yes.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Like he
Up
kind of
front.
looked,
Mhm.
you get that proud look even in a mask.
Yep.
That he's like, "Yep, here we go," or like
Yep.
where it's nervous, good, whatever it was. It wasn't a mask, but you could
Mm-hmm.
see that he flew down to protect that kid really quick. He was all
Yeah.
over it. So very
Right.
cool.
So this is kind of cool, but the red flag in the dead center of the screen, it's kind of in the dead center of the screen. The Mandalorian just to the right of it looks like the Boba Fett from the holiday special.
yeah,
He's got kind of the tan chest
Yeah.
armor.
Oh
and the
yeah,
white
you're
shirt.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now most of these guys are like from Mando Mercs or 501st, right? These are all a lot of these guys are cosplayers. So they get there and they're either Boba Fett or Din already, or a Kenner or whatever version of Boba there are, or Mandalorian. So they started mixing up their armor. That's why you have a whole lot of mixed up, weird looking armors during the
Right.
fight scenes. You
That's
don't
cool.
really see it here. It looks fairly clean here, right?
Right.
Kind of like Din was when we first met him. But yeah, you know what's weird to me, and I guess not a nitpick or anything. I guess it is. We just watched her paint this helmet.
Yeah.
Why aren't you all match?
Mhm.
Just paint your stuff. Why's everybody got a mix match?
Does it match his Paz?
Well, his does. But I mean, there's this
Yeah.
person
I mean,
with
does that
armor.
helmet
There's
match?
There's 4 plates, 3 plates on the chest, and one of them, 2 are blue and 1 is green. I'm like, just paint it. Why are we not painting things?
No, I mean the helmet that she just
Yeah.
created it
Yes.
matches Paz's the Vizsla.
Yeah.
So
Same
yeah.
colors, yeah. But I mean, why wouldn't everybody else do that?
because I think they're
It's
from
just
different
weird.
houses.
Yeah, that's what I
Oh,
mean.
I got you. I see.
Armor shouldn't be mixed match when you have a spray paint gun. That's what I'm saying.
I agree.
Well, maybe I mean they're all from different families at different times
They
and
are.
eras and all that.
They
And it's
are.
like Bo-Katan, her night owls. None of them had matching armor. There was a
Well-
similar tone of blue that went through some of the helmets.
No. I
But
mean
her-
on them. I mean on themselves. Their
Yeah,
helmet match their chest
Oh,
plate, match their
oh,
gauntlet,
oh,
match
gotcha,
their
gotcha,
shin
gotcha.
guards. You
Yeah.
have a gun. Spray your shit. If you want blue,
Yeah.
be blue. If you want green, be green. Why are you
I hear
being
you.
blue, pink, green? on
Every
your same
piece of
chest plate?
armor tells a story, though.
Whatever. There was a
I
shore
got-
trooper. There was a shore trooper pauldron in there.
Well, even Din though, whenever we first met Din, his armor was all mismatched. He had tan pauldrons and silver.
There's
Well,
Skyrider. There should
think
be
he
a
was just beat. I think he
painter.
was just beat up brown. Painter.
I like that.
Doesn't that symbol almost look like the symbol that's on Boba Fett's armor?
It almost does. He
The
has
mythos-
a he-
almost-
It is.
no. The mythosaur is the Mandalorian, and the other one that is like he has a wheat.
No,
leaf.
not the Mythosaur one. The
The
other
wheat.
one.
He has
Yeah.
wheat, a piece of
Yeah.
wheat, and this is
But
like
that's
a,
in that. Oh,
this
this
is
is
a-
got the
I
rose.
sent the
Yeah.
picture in the chat.
yeah. This is a like a cherry blossom.
Yeah.
The same type thing.
Yeah.
Ernie has that tattoo on his forearm.
Yeah, it's
too.
whatever
The wheat.
clan that Django was and Jasmine was from.
Yeah.
That's that clan. I can do a whole podcast on this opening sequence of the
dude,
history and all that
yeah.
stuff. It was so fantastic the way that, like I said, that energy and just the way I love the fact that we got the Star Wars logo and all those little things as the armor is hitting. You hear it, her pounding the
Yeah.
it was just a very Conan-esque kind of thing, cool
Yeah.
tribal thing going on, and it was great.
I love
Why are you
that we're because we're a half hour in and we just went right back to Star Wars.
I know. So the intro.
We're a full hour, but we're a half an hour into Mandalorian, and you went into the intro and the armor hitting it.
I just had I know.
Like, damn.
By the way, you
by the
guys
time we
noticed
get to the end of this, it's going to be one.
it did drop early. It didn't drop exactly at midnight. I think it was like 5 or 10 minutes early.
I was sleeping, dude.
So
I woke
going
up
back
at 2.
way back to the beginning. But anyway.
Yeah, I woke up at 2, man.
So after we get this, and then the armor tells him basically, not that thank you for saving us, but he comes and save us. She
It's
still
basically-
reiterates the point of you're not a Mandalorian, and he's like, well, the creed says I can go do this. She goes, do it if you want, but nothing exists. But
well, by
this
the
was
end, it
interesting.
seemed like she bought in. Like
She did. Oh, no,
I told you on Monday.
Yeah,
I think
he's
he's
fine.
like the chosen one for the Mandalorians, right?
sure,
And
yeah.
she's like fighting him and telling him no and just pushing him. And when he says, "Well, I'm really going to do it," she's like, "Oh, this is the way."
Yeah, if it's almost like if 100%. If you could find the way and do it and prove yourself, it's almost like if you can do this, then you are absolutely like the guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's it, man. I think that's exactly what's going on. This is his rite of passage. Not even
Yeah.
that, because not everybody does this, right? But this is his big thing to prove that he's the one. By the way, I'm going to get Grogu with puppy dog eyes now too.
You are.
God damn this scene! I'm going to
You
get
are.
this in a movie moment. That's my movie moment. It's going to be these two squatting here and him.
You're
peeking
right,
over at
dude.
her.
Yeah, you're right. Every scene with Grogu, like it's just the cooing, the looking up, the looking over, the just paying attention to everything around him. Like he's understanding what's going on, and I'm like,
He's learning. Yeah.
oh yeah,
I mean, and that comes in the future too, when Mando's actually teaching him, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh god, this is great.
You know what's really cool? I was thinking about this today. Is when they talk about babies and kids, how their brains are like sponges and they take everything in more than an adult would. This dude has 50 years of that now, 53 years, 54 years of that. Of being a sponge. So when he does grow into, say, an adolescent, he's going to be so far advanced because he's had 50 years of sponging, and it's staying with him more and doing things. So I'm really excited to see where Grogu goes this year. He's going to be strong. He's going to be he did crazy stuff this year.
I am. Yeah, I every time we get more of his story moving forward, I'm just like, yeah, man, I'm in it, and I just plug in him to Yoda. Like this is probably what Yoda went through and stuff.
And by the way, I think this very first scene being the ceremony is exactly what I was talking about, wanting Grogu to be like in a ceremony. I think when Din gets redeemed, they're going to redo the ceremony with both of them.
Gotcha.
And Bud Doom.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yes, and they're going to bookend this season with those ceremonies.
Oh, you're thinking it happening this season? Okay.
I still don't think
I'm
we're
still
going to
thinking
cover
we're way
that
off
kid's
on that,
head.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think we're going to cover that kid's head for a long time.
Yeah, I think we're way off for that point of it. But
he's
also,
too adorable. You can't cover
Yeah.
that face. You want to pinch his cheeks, man. You can't.
Maybe
that's
she'll
where-
do that. Maybe she'll make Din promise, and she's like, "You just when you want to."
Yeah.
Wait,
You're
don't
just
do
squeezing his cheeks. You're just too adorable.
But yeah, so we know his mission. We got his in the whole that little glass thing was cool too. Like this proves that what people are saying about Mandalore being it's proven. It's basically turned to glass. It's poisoned and all that stuff. So, which is really cool. Like I said, I could do a whole hour on just the intro and that whole talk because it goes into like such lore. Same thing with when we get into the Bo-Katan stuff.
Miss Sunflower says she feels like it's only Empire propaganda that Mandalore was poisoned or glassed.
We've seen that on other planets in the books, right? Where they would go out there and they would wipe areas down to keep people under their thumb, right? Mm-hmm. And make it to seem like, and they had like what book was that? And they were destroying the crops and all the roughage, everything around, and it was the droids that were supposed to be seeding it were actually the ones destroying it. Was that the old Thrawn books? That's the old
real
Thrawn
quick,
books.
I think so.
Yeah. Real quick, Julianne Fernie's got to go. She's been up since yesterday. Have a great night, Julianne. Thanks
you
again for the super chats. And
yes, thank you very much.
Bo-Katan is not the leader, and yes, bad baby.
Bad baby. I love it. My God,
that's
dude.
right.
So good. Shit, what was that before? Because there was a good point there. Damn.
Oh, you're talking about the scorched earth kind of stuff about Mandalore being poisoned.
Oh, never mind. Yeah. It was Thrawn. It was Rook's people. That's what
okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But okay, so so the next scene is him leaving in the hyperspace lane, right? Like we're in the hyperspace.
God, dude.
This is the point where it's nothing's being said. It's nothing. It's just kind of this whole interaction and Grogu just taking it in.
Yes.
And
which again you would think is like one of those things where I was talking about a minute ago where you have something not happening, but it was very meaningful. It's supposed this is way good. Way good, dude.
So when the Purgils show up,
oh my God.
Come on, man. I was like, I know this is Filoni's way of telling us, Ahsoka's around the corner and the rebels and all these things and all of these things, right?
Yeah.
And I'm also my head's also going into the Purgle shows up because of Grogu's presence.
Can I pause it real quick? Because Papa Shmi is asking, are these from Rebels, Space Whales? Just to give a quick round of anybody that didn't watch Rebels, okay?
Okay.
These Purgles or Purgils, I don't know how they're called.
It's Purgles.
Purgles. They showed up in Rebels at a point, and we find out they disrupt hyperspace lanes, right? And they can fly through hyperspace. They go through the lanes. They can cause massive damage. Blah blah blah. Anyway, they fly through space. In the end of Rebels, when Thrawn and Ezra were in their final battle, basically he uses the Force to kind of summon these Purgles, and they come and take Thrawn and Ezra away. So it's super important to see these right now in live action because it's kind of like, how do you make a giant space whale work on a TV show that's live? It works. A lot of things work in cartoons that don't work here. Well, we're going to make it work here and explain that these exist. We understand they exist. This is much like when we saw Grogu heal Grief before we saw Rey heal the snake. If you see it in The Mandalorian, you have to accept it. So now when we see it happen and they bring Thrawn back and Ezra
This was an excellent, first off, excellent representation of it.
Yes.
The shadowing coming there. Grogu, and all Grogu's the only one that saw it, right? And it was just kind of like, man, what a great premonition or foreshadowing. And you're right, like reminding us of those episodes to be like, look for this. This is going to be your answers. The answers are coming. And I said, and I think also they made themselves known too as because of the presence of Grogu.
Oh, for sure.
And I
did with
love
Ezra,
that.
right?
Like they're looking at him. Yeah, same thing with that. They're looking at him as it was great, man. Like I really got the feels on that one. I really got like, this is Star Wars right here. This is Grogu.
This is magic.
And all of you, if you haven't watched Rebels, it's going to be so important in what's coming in the future with the Ahsoka show and with Thrawn and Ezra and Sabine and all these characters. And I'm sure, if not all of you that watch us have watched Rebels. It is a fantastic series, and it's going to this little moment right here just solidifies that they're not going to shirk away from some of the more fantastical things they introduced us to, the magic they introduced us to in Rebels. It's great. I mean, it is by far in the top 3 of my all-time Star Wars things. Rebels is great.
Yeah, and this is one of the fantastical things that's working right now. We have the wolves to deal with still. I have to see how that's going to work. So
that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I love it.
But, we had giant wolves in Game of Thrones, and it worked just fine.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I'm okay with giant wolves. It was the running through the cave and through time and all that kind of stuff. And that's a very fantastical. That's even true. Pushing it for Star Wars, right?
Yeah. But was that just tied to their existence on a planet that has the world between worlds? Is that
maybe because they were all of it? They were on the door. They were everything about it, right? They were very connected. So it's going to be interesting. I trust them because it's far out, but so is this.
Yeah. Gordon's rewatching Rebels this weekend. I'm right when we get the release date for Ahsoka, I'm going to make it a point to rewatch Rebels. That's
because Ahsoka has been. They've said it's basically a sequel.
It's season 5. It's going to be season 5, and
with a time jump.
Oh God, I can't. This is great, and this is so cool to be this excited about Star Wars. Right. It really is. But yeah, and that whole Purgle thing, it was just kind of it brought it back to me. It reminded me, right? It's okay, got it. I got it, Filoni. Man.
So this really can. So we talked on Monday. We talked about the Bendu, right?
We did.
It totally makes it this is that kind of weird,
right?
That's where we're at here. That Purgle and a Bendu are pretty on the weird spectrum of the Force.
Yeah,
it would have to be a different Bendu because I'm pretty sure Thrawn killed the Bendu in that episode.
Oh, I didn't take it that way. I took it that he left and laughed.
I did. I do because I want to say I think I remember its body hitting the ground. I don't think it lived.
Oh,
but I could be wrong. I need to rewatch it just to make sure.
Damn it! Now, I'm sitting there going.
I'm pretty sure Thrawn killed it, but I don't remember 100%. I'm sure somebody in the chat will know that remembers better than I do.
Right.
So
Gordon, well, he's rewatching it all right now, so he'll.
Right. All right. So now this is a good time to talk about the big elephant in the room this week with the time.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we're about to hit Navarro, and this is kind of a good segue. Okay. So, Jon Favreau mentioned this week, kind of offhand at a convention, right, at a talk before the premiere, that the time frame that Grogu was with Luke for 2 years.
Right.
Okay. So then he was interviewed yesterday or today, after the premiere, and one of the interviewers asked him, said, "Hey, you know what? You caused a pretty big stir with your timeline comments." He's like, "I did what comments? What are you talking about?" Right? Showing that he was kind of flippant about it in the first place. That it probably wasn't dead ass. Nor is Star Wars. Mind you, okay, with times. We've actually talked about that. That Last Jedi was a problem mainly because they said we have 18 hours.
Right.
That you can't do that with us because you're going across the galaxy. That shouldn't happen. 18 hours doesn't work, right? So when he got asked that, he's all, look, basically, this is how it comes out. Every series is about a year time, okay? He says it's been between 0 to 2 years from end of Mando Season 2 to Mando Season 3, 2 years. So there's probably a point in there, Grogu was probably with Luke for damn near a year-ish, around it, right? 9 months, call it a year. Same thing with 2 years. That could be a year and a half, call it 2. That's what he's trying to say, is this time frame isn't September to August was this. 11 months. Yeah. It's not like that. But you figure he was with Luke for more than a week. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
He was there for a long while. 0 to 2 years is silly. I know he said, but if you think about it,
I know.
His point, end of Mando Season 2 is 0, right?
Right.
Beginning of Season 3 is 2. In there, we've probably got a time gap between Boba Fett and here, you can tell, right? Plus, you've got the time with him. So you probably figure roughly about a year with Luke, roughly about another year with Mando.
Right, before we get to him coming to the aid of the armor. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Think about time in this. The Sanctuary episode. I don't think anybody loves the Sanctuary episode, right? On the planet where he's the lady's falling in love with him, takes off his clothes, right? Nobody loves
just
that.
The ATST, that's all.
Yeah, it's okay, but that episode was a long time. That was months.
Yeah.
Right? We don't talk about that. We don't think about that.
And Miss Sunflower, same thing. She's saying right here, I interpreted the 2 years as it been 2 years since Grogu left with Luke, but not necessarily that Grogu trained with Luke for 2 years.
Yeah.
Favreau did say there would be a time jump from Boba Fett to now. 100%. Yeah,
exactly exactly how it came out.
Yeah,
and Star Wars has never been. We discussed this in our personal chat. Star Wars has never been one for definitive time frames. It's always been kind of nebulous. Take Book of Boba Fett, for example. His flashback scenes from getting out of the Sarlacc pit to finding getting Slave One back. That's 6 years. He was on Tatooine for 6 years.
Yeah.
Who knows how many of those years he was with those sand people,
Yeah.
And it made it look like it was just, a month. He was just hanging out with them for a month.
We always talk about how long did Luke train with Yoda on Dagobah before seeing the, and
we're thinking it's like overnight.
Because how long were they in, was Han and Leia going to Bespin? How long did that? So there's a lot. So,
even though they're close, they're at sublight speed. And there was a lot you don't miss it. Again, the one thing, that's what screwed it up. The one time we heard about time, really time, like in a movie, was The Last Jedi, and it screwed it all up.
It did, because Rey was with Luke for 18 hours? Or was this
right?
Was it days? Yeah.
So you have to let some of this shit go. And that's the time specifically, and I'm not good about letting stuff go. You guys know that.
Of course.
But time, trying to put things exactly on a 1 year to 2 year, it's not exact. They're rounding. Yeah. So but how they do it, this was the point when to do it now with Navarro coming up, is what I think they're doing in this show is using Navarro as your scale.
Absolutely.
So, and
you can.
Grief.
Yeah.
Because the problem is Grogu ages very slowly. He's not showing it. Everybody else is wearing a damn mask. Everybody else that mattered to him has gone off the show, and
Grief
now
Karg is the only
special forces. So now we have and Bo-Katan is 70 and doesn't age, so you can't use her. So now you're using Navarro and Grief specifically too, from a straight black mustache, no grays, next to a goatee with grays in it, and now a full bushy beard looking. And then Navarro itself has gone from dirt roads, backwater, right, to now he's the hub. Of shipping in the hiding way
system. Hiding way.
It's
huge.
That's a cool way to show time.
It's great because every time we see Navarro do that whole thing, I appreciate that difference and progression like
but
that.
But now I realize it's more important because of the time thing. And then I'm like, oh, it makes sense. It makes total sense because you can't do that overnight. And it's taking a long time to build your town. They've got mining on asteroids and moons and stuff.
Oh, yeah. It takes a long time to get permits for those buildings, man.
I just rewatched season 1 and season 2. And that place was a wasteland. Now in season 3, there's a full-grown tree with monkey lizards hanging off of it. So obviously I know you can plant full-grown trees, but it's got to take root,
But let's talk about how Navarro should be the Batu that we go to in Disneyland, like 100% identical. That's the planet that I want to be walking around with the band playing, the monkey lizards in the tree, the protocol droids walking around telling us about it's almost like, we have 3.2 inches of rain per year. It's like
it feels very Batu in that way.
It should be, right? Like how Batu should be, right? Absolutely. And I wish they could pull that off. That's a sidebar. We'll have to deal with that when Ernie gets back because that's something that'd be very, very cool. Here, there's your blueprint.
Oh my god. Oh my god, Michael, nostalgia here. Mando got revenge for Grief's hand when he killed that gator.
I wonder if that's why they changed it, like as a joke.
That's funny. Yeah.
Oh my god,
more gator-ish. Yeah, he
just killed a gator for you.
Gator even did the death roll and everything.
Oh my god, that is funny.
That's great.
And Felipe is here. What's up, man?
Crystal saying looked like a Ren fair.
It did.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it did. It sounded like a Ren fair. It looked like a Ren fair. It was cool. It was just like Chris was saying, that progression of it, and we can use that to pinpoint the timeline of where we're at on it.
I know I put it in the chat, but I hadn't realized last time we saw the school that was the bar they used to do their dealings in.
Oh yeah,
that was when he got the cookies and stuff. I wasn't thinking that was the bar. And when the pirates were there, and I remember talking about the pirate, I didn't realize that was cool.
That's how much it changed. That's how much it changed on us and stuff.
We don't even have a saloon.
Yeah. You can still see the window that was all shot out. You can see the bar top, but it has trinkets on it now instead of booze. It's really cool.
Yeah, I did. This is when I noticed the bar. I'm like, there's the bar. Sure enough, inside. Then I went back to the other season to look, and I had to watch The Siege again.
Right.
Because I wanted to see it, and I'm all, damn, it sure was. The whole time they did this. And then I went to look at the statue, and we'll talk about that in a second too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we got caught up on some things. But Grief Karga gave us the exposit, like we was talking about. Like he gave us the rundown of where everybody's at. You know.
Yeah. Hey, I need a marshal. Oh, that's later. That's after the pirates.
Oh, that's after the pirates. Okay, yeah. Okay.
So we see the statue, and he's okay. This is how you know time's passed too, because he asked Grogu, "Hey, do you remember your old friend? Like, how long do you think this has been, dude? Like, everybody thinks it's 3 weeks."
When he told him his name.
Oh, I love that. He said, "Hey, his name is Grogu." He saw, "If you say so."
I love it. That was perfect?
It really was. If you say so.
If you say so, it's Grogu. What? His name's Grogu. If you say so, and he walks away, it was like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So then him spinning in the chair was awesome. The Reese's Pieces, like E.T. loves, right? The same thing.
Yeah.
Just grabbing those. Love it. Yeah. Good stuff. That was, but he's offering him land. He wants him to live here. He's offering him, just live off the land. I'll give you the nicest lot. Make your money here. Retire.
Right. He wants muscle. He wants muscle because obviously we know where he wants a marshal.
Then he gets interrupted by Chris Bartlett in the bronze.
Right. That's definitely him. But we also get to the reason why he came to Navarro in the first place too. He wants the IG-11 droid.
Not yet. I got you, brother. I got you.
For some reason, it's dropped a bunch of our screenshots, but I'm getting there. So bear with me.
IG-11's after the pirates. Right now, we're getting interrupted and saying, "Hey, I need to go to the droid comes and says, hey, there are pirates out here."
Gotcha. Now, gotcha.
And I want you to count the pirates for me, please. Behind him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5.
Yeah. A Quarren, a Dogface, a Nikto, a Weequay, and a Trandoshan.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 Niktos. I make this point because in a minute, I'll come to it in a minute. Remind me that. Okay.
All right.
But this is a cool way they're trying to come in here. Pirates look awesome. When you heard pirates, were you hoping?
Hondo.
Yeah, so hoping.
I have a theory, though.
He's coming. He's coming, dude. Yeah. He's coming. But that Weequay right there shows yet again, no problem for Hondo.
Absolutely.
Right? Yep. And this outfit this dude is wearing, and the interaction with him, I have zero problem with this guy. And
the makeup. The makeup was fantastic.
Exactly the point. Exactly.
First off, this makes complete sense that we see the change in Navarro is becoming a respectable community, but it still makes sense that these guys would be coming here looking for their refuge or looking for a place to like do their pirate thing and being changed. So you still get that element of what this place used to be. Yeah. So it's a very, very important that we start seeing this. There's still a danger. There's still
they're going to be a problem.
Oh God, yeah, and that's where Hondo comes in.
So this is where I start thinking. This is actually where I started putting it together too with Book of Boba Fett. I'm like, what if Fennec stays there? Cobb comes here to become the marshal, or vice versa. Cobb stays there. Cobb stays there to run Mos Espa. Fennec comes here to be the marshal, and then Boba becomes a Mandalorian with.
Gotcha.
With Din. Yeah. That's where I was at this morning. I've watched this thing a lot, thinking.
No, that's great, dude. I think that all could legit happen. I mean,
but they have the showdown here, and I did not expect the showdown to quite go down the way it did. And I loved it. I love that Grief was so sure. He was a sure shot, man. He pulled his gun and shot the other gun out of the pirate's hand. That was awesome.
The lines. While he's leaning on the tree. We got a problem here, Magistrate. I don't know. Do we have a problem?
Do we have a problem here?
I'm like, there's 6 dudes right there. You guys are awesome, right? 6
and
awesome dudes.
It's High Magistrate.
Yeah, and High Magistrate. Like 3 times.
That's great.
But so good, dude. And they're so fast. And the hand shot was great. And then Mando backing him up when the Weequay draws. On it, dude. On it.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I'm going to say. We're going to go into... Do we have anything else on land? Oh, no. This is where we go to IG-88. Sorry. But first, they turn around, right? And these 2 droids are carrying his cape.
Yeah.
This is how far Grief Karga has come since the days of sitting down, smacking down bounty chips, or bounty pucks. He's getting carried.
And calamari flan.
Moff Gideon called him the failed magistrate in the end of season 1. So I'm thinking that's what he was before, then became the guild when it all fell apart. And now he's trying to revisit, like he knows what to do, how to run a city. And
he's trying to regain that respect.
So that's exactly. So he's going back to his first job before he became the guild leader.
So he's used to this. That's why it's a little easier for him. That makes sense.
Yeah. Or now he's like, or because he said failed magistrate. So that was like, okay, now this time no one's going to see me as that. And that's why he stepped it up a notch.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Now, so here's the statue coming up, right? Now, the reason I said I went back to the other show to watch the Siege was I know the statue's there already. I wanted to see the colors. And it was just regular color. They had one bronze piece on it, maybe two.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
I was like, poo. Darn. I was all excited. I was like, they had this plan from jump.
Gotcha.
You know? And I didn't see it that way. But anyway. So here we are. Now, here's the point. What's funny is he's offering him the place to stay. Why won't you stay? And he says, look, man, I got things to do. And that's Grief Karga gets really pissy right there. Right? If he goes, I didn't realize you were here on business.
Yeah, this is business.
You're not my homie. We're not here to chill. And his next part was, how can we serve, or what can we provide you?
Right.
I'm like, man, every time he comes by, it's like, fix my ship. You know? Give me IG-11. I'm like, wait a second. That's the first negative. That was the kind of vibe I got when Anakin looked at Mace Windu the very first time, right? The same type of vibe. Like, dude, seriously?
Right.
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if it's setting a seed for something later. I hope not. But I just felt like he was kind of pissy with him.
See, now my issue with this whole scene is he wants to take IG-11, rebuild him because it's the only droid he can trust. How is this part, this chassis here? How is this chess piece still in existence when a thermal detonator exploded inside of it?
Yeah.
I mean, if it blew off his arm and his legs and all that, but it left his chest piece intact.
Well, I think he said this is the only piece that we could put together.
It's welded. When the Fricks I keep calling them the Fricks, the Aldinians. But when they have him on the thing, you can see that he's very welded.
Yeah, I thought he even said it. He goes, "This is the parts that we can actually like scrap together." And
but still, it's okay. I don't want to nitpick IG-11. I told myself I wasn't gonna, but I'm gonna. In the first episode, Mando shot him in the head, no problem.
Right, I get it.
Yeah.
Why did we take so many shots this time?
But he didn't. He shot him in the body. I was trying. Okay, so I was watching that too, Chris, and I was trying to pay attention if the blaster bolts were going through the body when he was shooting, because he wasn't aiming for the head. And you're right. And I was sitting there going, well, he blasted him in the head to disable him the first time, but he needs that part. He needs the mainframe. He needs the circuitry in there. So maybe he was trying to disable him from crawling, like, or something. So
yeah, but oh my God. So yes, he lets him have him. Right, let's go ahead and do it. Fine, whatever. Let's put your droid together. He gets in power, and the dude goes into like killer mode. Right into the day they met. Right into the moment where he got shot in the head.
He saw Grogu,
and then he says, "Grief," and he tosses him Grogu. He's like, "What are you doing?" Like, and they threw that's like the sideshow toy. Like they just tossed the sideshow Grogu across the room. I'm like, dude, that's $500. What are you doing?
Exactly. Look at his face.
We share a brain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we do.
They see, look, he's tossing that guy around.
Yeah, he tossed that dude. Yeah.
Oh, man. So if I'm going to nitpick something in this episode, but the thing is, I love that they're trying to put IG-11 back. So I'm not mad at it. I love having the aliens work on him. I love all of that. Right. I don't want to nitpick it, but it is very nitpickable. It is. If I want to tear something apart, I can tear that apart.
Well, yeah. It happens so fast, though, too. It's like one of those things where, like, okay, the next scene kind of saves it all and all that. But I have to ask, my first thought is like, okay, he needs IG-11 to go to Mandalore, see if it's poisoned, right? Like thinking that kind of aspect.
He needs to help him.
Well, why do you need IG-11 for that? Like you get any droid. Like
remember, he's racist. He's racist against droids. Go back.
It's the only droid he trusts.
It does. Remember, he grew up in the Clone Wars. His family was killed by
protocol
droids.
Droid that has cannot be killed. You know, like can't.
For some, he wants this one because of the
astromech.
You can't pay Chris Bartlett that much money, though. You can't be every single droid.
I want that explained, though. I need that explained, right? Because Grief Karga even says I can get you any droids you want. He goes, no, I need this one.
Because it was a nurse droid. He wants back that program. He thinks it's in there. The way Quill programmed it.
I want him to say it, right? I need that because I don't want.
I think just be patient on this one.
Yeah, no, I get it. I know. I get it because
I hope it happens next week.
If it's just for the poisoning of Mandalore, That's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Here's my other nitpick. If I have one, obviously. Okay. We're jumping around the galaxy. What is the first step on this, Din? Are you going to Mandalore right now, or do you need the droid? Are you going to get the part? Why are you at Bo-Katan already? And why did you say I'm here to join you?
Yeah.
To Bo. You're not here to join her. You're here to get redeemed. What are you doing? 10 sentences later, after you tell her to make up her mind.
I didn't understand that. Like, when we get to that Bo-Katan interaction, I didn't understand his motivation. When he has his missions, he knows what he has to do.
But he's all over the place. That was so weird. All right, sorry. So then standoff droids, blah, blah, blah.
Well, let's get to the Fricks. We'll get to the Fricks right now.
The Anzillions. All right. What do you want? Sorry, Men in Black vibe right there with the dog. I don't know why. Aliens.
I'm gonna say like this sequence, the whole thing.
Yes.
You know, the whole thing about the workings of it and all of the Fricks in there. I'm still gonna call them Fricks. It's just easier.
I know. It's
just and it's just it brought me back to like being a kid and watching Star Wars, like the Ewoks and the Fraggle Rock and all these things. It was just it fit. I don't know. Does the pit feel the same way? Do you guys feel the same way? Was this overly cartoony for Star Wars? Okay, good, because I did not feel that. But I have to ask the question. I have to ask. You know, right?
It was very sitcom-y when you were inside. Like with grief, and at first I was like, why is he translating? I can hear him.
He's speaking English.
Yeah,
but then didn't get annoyed with it because I got it.
Like, I got it.
And he just kept looking at him. I'm laughing
until Grief finally gave up and was like, fine, and stepped away.
Yeah, but then he came back again, and I loved it. I was like, this guy, my God, stop.
It was so good though. Like, this one too.
He's not your friend no more. You get a new droid.
Get a new droid.
He said he's not your friend no more.
It's great, dude. Like, I liked him in the sequels. I like Babu Frick.
Yeah.
I love him even more. I really do.
Oh, I'm so happy I have that pop. I know it's not Babu. I know this, but I'd love
that.
It.
Why is that not Babu? That looks just like Babu.
They said they weren't. Now look, you know what's funny about these three? Did you notice how they're different?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I mean, did you notice like one is a long goatee,
one
is a mustache, and then one has both. That's just like so simple. That's all it is. That's what I mean. It's like how they did it. One has one, funny. One has one, and one has both. He's so dumb.
Great, dude. And this is.
Oh my God, dude!
Come on, Grogu.
For a moment, I thought he was going to try and eat him.
Yeah. He wanted a toy.
He just wanted a hug.
That picture is so perfect. It's
good, man.
Oh my God!
It was great, and he grabs.
He said, "No squeezy, no squeezy, no squeeze,
no squeeze." Yeah, he's and Din was like, "He's young. Sorry, he's young.
He's only 53." Bad baby.
Like I said, dude, every scene Grogu's in, it has me. And to the point where when we talk about like the overuse of Grogu and merchandising, I get it, but then when I see him, I'm like, I get it. Right? Yeah. Like I understand.
Good. No, that's coming in a pop. Chris, you are getting that in a pop.
I know. Any second, dude. Any second.
I will be getting that in a pop because that's freaking adorable.
I might have to get one too.
Yeah. This was just a phenomenal scene. I love the chatter between all three of the Fricks, right? And like one saying one saying something else with them. Oh no, they're all agreeing. It's just all going constantly, and I love it.
I love it. Like I can't fix your droid. Get another droid. And he's like, if I get you the memory, whatever. So we know we've got side.
He says, then I can fix it.
Yeah. You get iFix.
And there was another weird piece.
I agree.
There.
I know where you're going with this one, Chris.
With if no Arcanian can find it, is that where you were going to go?
Yeah.
So when Din's when Din's leaving, he says, "Okay, I'm going to leave." Blah blah blah. And Grief saw, "Well, good luck. If no Arcanian can find, if Arcanians can find, I don't know who can." Like, wait, who's getting it? Is Din getting the part, or are these guys getting the part?
No, I thought Din was getting the part.
Yeah, exactly. Because Din Din says, "I'm gonna go get the part, and I'll bring it back." Right. Okay, you get. We fix.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he gets in the ship, and Grief.
It was a mistake. Then
it sounds or poorly worded. Because what it could mean, and I was trying to go through is like, look, good luck to you because these guys already tried and they couldn't do it. So good luck. But that's not how it came off. It really came off. He said it wrong. Is how I think. Right. He enunciated it improperly.
Yeah, Miss Sunflower. Here it is.
I agree.
There it is. Yes, he's going to Pele to get the part or to ask her about the part. She's going to send him up.
The Jawa is that's how he gets Boba back.
Yep.
Well, that, but also R5. That's how R5 joins the freight.
R5 will join. Fennec will come and be the new marshal.
R5 is going to be his droid instead of IG. He's going to get R5.
Well, see,
and R5 will fill in that void.
I don't like that. I like that both of them will join. Like he needs for
R2 and 3PO.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So he gets IG-11. Where's he put him? Where does IG-11 go?
And
he doesn't fit inside that starfighter.
There's compartments everywhere. As you see Grogu going through like a mouse.
Well, that's why he won't have legs anymore. He won't have legs anymore.
He'll be able to fold up like a battle droid.
Well, no, Pele's going to remove the dome,
Razor Crest, install him there.
He's going to tie him to the dome.
He attaches to.
Yeah, she's got the new Razor Crest for him. Yeah, that's all.
Oh my God!
Here's your new Razor Crest.
Well, they don't. He doesn't have any legs. Maybe he'll attach.
That's what we were just saying. Take the dome off and just install him there in the dome, so he's like up top.
Yeah, he'll be like L3, all mixed matched up. No, that's horrible. Don't do that. Don't mess with
I know.
Right? Hey, it was weird they had R5 in this one.
Well, there was an R5
unit. It's just weird to have the same one.
It is,
right?
Yeah.
It was odd.
It's okay. So here's the thing, right? We can theory craft that because back in Star Wars, when Greedo got shot, Greedo walked by in the next scene outside. So it's that maybe that was an homage to be in that. I mean, these guys do things like that, and we'll pick it up.
They all had the same
That's reaching. I know it's reaching, but
no, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, Greedo was in like 5 other scenes after he got shot.
It's true. That scene though, where he said that, I'm like, wait a minute, that's the exact opposite of what was just said. What's happening here? So.
I didn't pick that up. I didn't pay attention to that when he was leaving, but.
Philippe Terrazas asking, "What's an R5?" Sorry, kind of a newbie.
Oh no problem.
R5D4, the original Star Wars, A New Hope. Whenever Luke is getting the droids with the Jawas, R5 is the red R2 R5 unit that Uncle Owen picks first.
With the flat
blows the motivator.
Yeah, he's the red with the flat top. He's another astromech droid like R2D2.
But he's Pelimoto. Yeah, Pelimoto actually has him in her shop repaired. Yeah. And it is that exact droid too, because you can see the goo that had come out of the motivator slot in his head. And
it's great.
That's just
cool. It's great. He's going to be a very important character, and I love that. In the trailer, it looks like
he's
the Starfighter's repurposed for an astromech droid, and he joins their group, and I love it. I think that's
so. Great. I guess maybe okay. Here's the deal: you can't take Grogu everywhere. He always leaves some places. Maybe. That's the point of IG-11. He's a babysitter. When they go off, him and R5 go do something.
That's what I'm saying. I think he needs both droids. He's going to get both droids.
He needs one to help him. And
he's going to need a bigger ship. I mean,
yes, he's going to need a Razor Crest.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, and I put that in the chat too. The N1 is way more badass than the Razor Crest. Sorry, just not.
It has its purpose. It has to
be badass.
Oh no, it's cool.
It'll have a little docking port. It'll land right where the escape pod is on the Razor Crest. So
I'll tell you what, though,
land right there. It'll have a little extra engine power.
Yeah. I mean, besides getting orbital bombarded, he did put that ship through hell. The Razor Crest. I mean, it was
especially season 2 was brutal.
He had pallets on the side.
See, that's one question I had with the IG-11 also is, when he does fix him and gets him together, where's he going to put him on that ship?
Yeah.
Just attach him.
I'm telling you, he's going to need a bigger ship.
He just follows.
I honestly think he's going to want another Razor Crest. That's his iconic ship. It's pre-Empire. It's now that the New Republic's got Vader on it. So. Yeah, but what was the whole thing about it? It didn't need certain clearances. Remember, and that's when Carson Tega said. He goes, well, this is a new era,
Yeah.
I think that's why.
But so is the N1. They made that point too. They're the same exact. They're both pre-Empire. They're both pre-Empire. They don't show up. You don't have to tag them. You don't have to do anything. The problem is, like you said, storage is the issue. So I guess you can have a Winnebago and a sports car, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You need a Razor Crest to dock the N1 inside. I mean, yeah, it can work. It can work.
So a real quick update from Gordon on the Bendu. Thrawn did try to kill the Bendu after he crashed to the ground. He fires his blaster, missing the Bendu as the Bendu vanishes, and you can hear the defiant laugh.
See?
Thank you, Gordon.
Thank you for that, Gordon. Dude, we got research.
Gordon. Hey, Gordon even confirmed the laugh So
Yeah.
take that.
Yep. Hey,
I remembered something. Look at
I
that.
can admit when I'm wrong.
I don't forget everything. Just when I said 3 minutes ago. But.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so where we're at in the thing, let's get to the pirate attack again outside of when he leaves Navarro, right? Let's get to this
yes,
which I thought it was really cool. I mean, the whole I'm going to put this sequence of the pirate ships showing up and then Din giving chase, right? And then showing up out of the clouds, popping one,
dude,
disappearing, and then the music hitting, that little flute hitting every time. I'm going to put that scene, that sequence as in the top, in the tops of Star Wars, right? So
it's the best dogfight, period.
It is so good. And the
I just
conclusion
love
of
that.
it too is good too, because like the Vane
is the main one. Gorian is the king.
Yeah, this. Remember that
Gorian Shard.
Yeah,
this is Sigmund the Sea Monster. This is Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
This is a little bit of Davy Jones mixed in it here. Yeah, it's
all right.
It's all here.
I mean, I'm not thrilled with this type, but I'm also not.
What?
I'm not thrilled. Like, look, I'm not mad at it. I'm like, okay, it's Star Wars, it's alien creatures and stuff.
I'm in love with it.
It's just weird.
I am totally in love with it, dude.
Are you? It's shocking to me.
Definitely weird. It's really weird, but it works in a universe where we just had Jedi in books
100%.
fighting essentially dark side salad creatures. There's no reason why this couldn't work.
Like I said, I'm in it. There's no. It's just a little shocking to me, like a little taken back.
Yeah.
But here's where I want to tell you, like, okay, this is. I love it that he's new, also, like brand new.
Yeah.
He's not from EU. He's not from anywhere. This is where I think Navarro and Din Djarin is going to get in trouble with these pirates because of the event what just happened.
Yeah, Navarro.
And Hondo's going to have to step in as a mediator or a defending Navarro. He's going to come as a favor to Din or somebody. I think Hondo and his crew are going to have to tell these guys to back off. That's where I think you'll get the Hondo connection.
They're going to get it here somewhere. I don't know if it's going to. Yeah, probably because Hondo's not going to. Well, Hondo's not exactly a good guy.
No, but I think Hondo's all about money, right? If Grief Karga says, "Hey, your boys," he said, "They're not my boys," or a faction that broke off from my faction or whatever. Well, they're causing trouble, and I'll pay you handsomely, and then maybe Hondo becomes the marshal. No, but I think that's where you're going to get the Hondo connection if we're going to get a Hondo connection.
Well, I think they're this tease right now is getting us ready for it. There's no way
hope so, dude. I really hope so.
How many times have we struck out with Hondo though?
I know, but we're getting closer, right? It's that inch closer to it. It's
happening. At some point, I still think he's probably in Ahsoka, but it might touch him here, but he'll be in Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Hey, here's the thing I was going to talk about earlier. Real fast, it's weird. So when they were there and they were shooting the pirates on Navarro, right? There were 5 pirates.
Yeah. 5
pirates died. The guy said, "Hey, you don't get away by killing 4 of my brothers."
That's right.
I said to myself, okay, Grief killed 1, he killed 4. I'm going to give him the math. Okay, that's weird that he would. It's weird that he would do that. But then this dude says, "You just said that after blowing up 4 of my starfighters."
Right.
He blew up 5 starfighters. Can pirates not count to 5?
They cannot.
Both things happen.
Pirates
Where's the
are
script
weird.
supervisor on this thing?
Pirates are weird. They do things in twos. They can't let something go to an odd number. They've got to go to an even number.
He rounded down. Okay.
Isn't that weird though? I mean, what? I went back and checked, and I made you guys look at the guys. There's 5. Yeah. I went back, and there's watch. He flies in with 2 guys on his wings, so there's 3 guys. Then he says literally out loud, 3 more are coming.
Yeah.
Then he
There's
gets
6 coming at him.
Yes, so then he kills 1 before the whole maneuver thing happens, and he kills 4 more. 2 of them on his wing on the way to the pirate ship, right? And 2 before that. He blasts them all. I'm like, there's 5.
Except for the one that got away on Navarro. That one still lived. That one still got away.
Right.
He was the only one that survived.
Well, the Vane.
Vane.
Vane. Yeah.
But that's 2 times. There's always been 6 pirates. There's always 1 surviving. It's always him. He kills 5 at a time, but he only gets credit for 4. Yeah. That's just so weird. I don't know why it caught my attention, but I'm like, why is that happening?
Yeah,
I had written down the aliens.
Explained.
I had written down what kind of aliens they were. And when he said 4, I'm all, wait. No.
Right. But like you said, you can explain it that Grief Karga killed 1, Din killed 4. So it's like,
But there's no explaining space, so it makes
no. That was like I said, script supervisor needs to,
Yeah, it was
step up his game a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
But leading into that dogfight, though, we had this scene where Din is teaching Grogu what it means to be a Mandalorian, and I got all the goosebumps when scene happened. And he's teaching him how to navigate and how to use the controls on the ship. And I'm just like, I want an entire season of him training how to just be a Mandalorian. This is incredible.
Absolutely, dude. So he's sat with Luke learning how to be a Jedi. He's sitting with Din Djarin learning how to be a Mandalorian.
Oh, this guy's got it all.
This dude's awesome.
Like he's being trained by the best of the best that the galaxy has right now, and that's where like Yoda is the same thing, right? Yoda was trained by the best of everybody, so it's following his footsteps, and it's like the background that we weren't getting, but this is so cool how we're getting Yoda's background.
Holy shit! Hold on. Okay, so get this. So with the pirate, the last thing that Din says to Grogu here is never trust a pirate. So he's giving him lessons all the time, right? Remember when he went to go kill Kara when he got hurt in season 1 because he was understanding things, right? Never trust a pirate. Hondo will come up at some point. Need to be trusted, and Grogu won't trust him because of what he just said. That's going to come into play at some point.
Oh yeah. Grogu will take it like
like seriously. He's going
to choke him out like
he's going to do something something's going to happen with him and Hondo, some kind of interaction, and he's not going to dig it.
Did we talk about what Grief Karga gave us where everybody's at? Cara Dune went off, and after turning in Moff Gideon, she got promoted, and she went off.
Like we talked about it, but she's in special forces now. So clean. We didn't really discuss it. Yeah, clean cut, clean.
It was like boom, 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 boom. Gideon's over here being a tribunal. Cara Dune's off doing special forces.
What's cool about that is that we know Gideon's coming back, but they treated him just the same. If not, he treated Gideon like more of a throwaway than anything, right? The way that those lines were really well written.
Or we're going to see him escape. We're going to see the rescue of Gideon too.
But the way they made it was like Kara was most important, right? Like, she's off being special. Gideon, they just
hammered that in because
in a tribunal. But it makes it like you might not see either one of them. But I know that we're going to see one. But it's just neat how they play. But
also they left it open too.
But they all exist, and they all just exist.
Exactly.
And you don't have to see them on screen because right now, guess who else exists? Han Solo, Ben,
Leia. Oh, they're all doing something.
Exist, they just don't see them.
Exactly. No, that's cool. I like it how they left it open. It was cool.
Yeah,
it was good. So yeah, that whole life lesson thing and the whole instruments. This instrument does this, and this instrument tells you when there's enemies coming. It's a beep beep beep.
Well, that's the enemy proximity detector. Sensuous.
It was so
looking at the radars anyway.
So that pirate thing is going to be a good little detour. And again, it was so cool to have.
So that gives you the Mandalorian piece and a pirate piece, dude.
Yeah.
Wow, but Din can't do them both.
Yeah.
So that's why the Tatooine detour is going to be important.
Yeah, Tatooine. Yeah, he's got to get the part for IG-11. So this is where. So I've watched this a couple of times, and Boba. This is where I kind of gets a little where I don't know where the story. And again, maybe we'll get more. Is when he visits Bo-Katan. He goes to Mon Calamari, right? He goes.
No, not Mon Calamari.
No,
it's her planet. Okay. It's Kalevala.
Kalevala. That's why I got mistake. Okay.
And Kalevala was mentioned in Clone Wars, and it's the home planet of the Kryz family, of her family.
Gotcha. Yes.
So that's her house. That's Satine's house.
I didn't pay attention to it the first time. Like the first time I heard it, and I was like, "What?
Yeah.
Where are you going?"
No, I heard that. I had to go look.
Okay. Because I was like kind of confused. So, cool. So this whole interaction. Okay, I get if it's just to tell us what Bo-Katan's up to and her thing, kind of like giving up on life in general. Why did we need Din to go there? Like you said, I'm here to join you. Like when he confronts her.
Yeah, so weird, dude.
So there's got to be more to it. Like, did he want to come to her and say, "Look, I'm going to do this. I have the dark saber," meaning, or did he want her to challenge him for it? Or I don't know. Like,
here's what I think. I think that he knew that the pools were beneath the surface of Mandalore. He did not know where. He knew that she would know where. So he went there to get her. So instead of technically, I mean, he could take her with, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind having, company along the way. but at the end, she tells him where to go and where the pools are located. He says,
so was
okay,
it
cool,
him
thanks,
just buttering up to her like, hey, I'm going to join you. By the way, where's this place?
It just feels out of character to lie.
Yeah, if that was it.
Well, it's not a lie, really. It's like, hey, come with me. I'm quested to do this. This is what I have to do.
But he said, I'm here to join you, because her last thing they did with
that's
was
true.
Like, come join me. Come with us. Come be with us. You lost your people. Blah blah. Come with us. And then that's all they talked about right here was like ruling Mandalore.
Right.
And I don't know. It was just a weird.
Because why would he join them and then try to get atoned and then join the armorer? Like to be going back to that. It's weird there that maybe we'll get some more.
I feel like they edited some things and missed some stuff, right? Like with the grief, the way he said that. And this, I think they screwed up in editing somewhere, or some writers were just, I don't know, man.
Well, we're definitely not done with her because she's in the trailer more and all that stuff. So we do get more.
Exactly. Like Michael points out here, so her looking out the window from the trailer will be the Empire coming to attack her, and then we get the ship chase battle scenes we saw. Probably because that is her Gauntlet starfighter flying away from TIE fighters. So yeah, I think that's.
And another thing, Chris, it's like almost like if he's walking up here and he only sees her with nobody, like isolated, nobody else. Maybe that's his icebreaker, like knowing what she's gonna say. It's like, well, hey, you wanted me to join before. I'm here to join you. And then she goes and tells him that it's all lost because of you and all that stuff. Like you and your kind split us in the past, and it's all gone. It's like she gave up. It's no use. Mandalore's gone. You have the saber. I can't.
Dude, this line right here was the most passive aggressive bullshit, right? Like when she was like, "Do you still have the saber?" Yeah,
that's
right.
Go
wave that thing around. They'll do whatever you say. I'm like, man, because she just realized that without the saber, without the thought of getting the saber, nobody cares what she says. It's not
done,
her.
But
not that she's the princess or anything.
Yeah. I don't understand why, where we left off and where she's at here.
Because she's 70 years old.
She was going to challenge Gideon, okay.
Gideon's 70 years old.
Yeah, I guess so. That's true. Maybe, that could be it. Like, well, I can't take it from this guy. But wouldn't her pride allow her to die trying? You know what I mean? Like,
I think there will be a point. I think it has to just be a better story for her. She needs.
Yeah, like I said, we're not done with this. Maybe we'll get some more. But it still is what it is as far as that interaction and her reason and his reason to even go there in the first place. But well, for information. Okay.
Katie Sackhoff explained her attitude towards Din right now is that he's a burden.
Yeah.
On her. So maybe that's because she's in her depressed mode. It's like somebody just said here, she's just chilling out in a gallon of ice
I love
cream.
that band.
Right?
I love depressed mode. Oh, sorry. Right. But it's funny because last week we were talking about Bo, and I had mentioned that she won't bend the knee to him.
Right.
And that was pre-depression Bo. Now I'm seeing this Bo and I'm thinking maybe she would. Maybe she actually would bend the knee if she thought that she could get people with her again. If she's by herself, completely abandoned on this planet, why wouldn't she join?
But she
up
just
to be a
basically
member of
told
a clan again?
But she basically told him, go their way, they'll follow you. But it's like they'll follow you, but I'm done. Like
she could have challenged him right there.
Yeah, I know.
And the fight's out of her.
Yeah, or he could be like, you have the Darksaber. It could have been turned around like, I'm here to join you. And she could have been like, no, I'm here to join you.
That's how it's going to be. He's going to prove him. He hasn't proven himself to her. She found him, and he was having troubles and they saved him. He has to prove.
Bo does not.
Oh, there you go. Right
Absolutely.
there. Perfect.
Yeah.
She's going to end up turning it. At some point, he's going to do something where she's like, wow.
Yeah, it's like him
again,
or even
the chosen
even
one
Boba
thing
Fett.
is going to come up this whole time. Everybody's going to be like proving it, like the Matrix type thing. You're like, oh, this guy's the one,
right?
And that's where we're going to be. Same storyline. This is going to follow, I think.
Yeah, it's cool. Like just like they dismissed Boba Fett, right? This whole thing, they don't respect him. They don't think he's a Mandalorian. All that.
I love that.
Yeah.
But then he becomes a fountain, dude. I want him. That's how you fix Boba too, is have him do that ceremony with him and then swear and never take his helmet off.
Yeah.
That's how we fix Boba Fett.
I don't think that's the issue. I don't think that's the issue with Boba Fett.
That's a huge issue from Boba
Fett.
Fett.
He's too nice.
Not anymore.
Forget the helmet.
They fixed it. They already know that.
I get it.
Step one with Boba Fett is that he keeps taking his helmet off. So he really does need to go through that baptism.
Yes, force him to do it. You had to stand.
You broke the creed. You can't take your helmet off. Ha ha.
Oh, you're out of the club, but you can keep your gear as long as you want. All the gear I made you, you can keep it. Right? That's still goofy to me a little bit.
Yeah.
So just a little. But again, he's the chosen.
Fantastic.
One, so.
Oh my God! But geez, man.
So,
yeah.
Chris did also earlier today shared a piece of art that I think it really is cool. It's two images that I guess it's a social media campaign. It's like a slideshow that you'd find on Instagram going from one image to the other. But when combined, you've got this incredibly cool image.
And this is where I agree with Chris. Like this kind of makes sense what Chris was saying, how she'll follow him once he becomes he proves himself. And
I see this as united behind the Darksaber.
Yeah.
Not fighting over it. United.
That's exactly what it. Exactly. No, exactly. Like I said. No. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm the naysayer. I still think she's gonna fight him for it. I think that's her ultimate goal. That's what she wants more than anything else. She wants to be in charge. She wants that Darksaber. She wants to rule Mandalore.
But I don't think she's power hungry. I think she does it because I think maybe she doesn't feel Din could.
I don't know, man. Going back to the Clone Wars,
Bo is what's it called? She wants to preserve the history of like all that stuff, like preserve the race or the everything, Mandalorians, all that stuff. Kind of like the armor, but no more extreme. I don't think she's like, I want this because I want to be on the throne and be fed grapes. You know, she's not power hungry. So, but I don't. So she probably thinks like Din is a bounty hunter. Well, it's like I can't have I can't have a child of the Watch be in charge because they'll just ruin it.
Yeah.
You know?
So like her whole goal is the betterment of Mandalore.
Yeah.
She's followed other people.
Yeah.
So yeah, to your point, yeah. I can get that. She'll follow him once proven.
Yeah. Exactly. And
I think once she had that power, she lost that power. She wants that power back to prove that she is strong enough to lead. Yeah. And I like what Miss Sunflower here is saying, Din and Grogu.
Yes.
So that's the line of succession for the Darksaber, for going from Bo to Din to Grogu.
That's what by the end of this whole thing, that's what we're going to see, right? Grogu in full Mando gear with the Darksaber.
But what about in season 2? It was like she wasn't being straightforward with Din about why Moff Gideon had to submit to her, or had to be the one.
Well, she just didn't. It wasn't that she was hiding. I don't think she was hiding it. I think she just didn't say it. And
she didn't. She blew him off.
Had she explained it, I think it would have went different. But she was just being dumb, and it worked for the plot.
but also she blew him off. She didn't care. Din is an extremist. She doesn't want to give him that much. If he didn't know, it's like, if you didn't know, then I'm not going to tell you, kind of stuff. I need this. Yeah. So.
For those that didn't listen Monday, what I really hoped for wasn't with Grogu with the Darksaber. It was with Grogu with the Darksaber crystal, because there's a rumor it might get destroyed, and he takes Yoda's lightsaber and switches the crystal out. So you have the Darksaber in Yoda's
preserved
hilt,
in Yoda's saber, right?
In Yoda's hilt, awesome. With him in Mando gear, and that's how Grogu takes over.
All right. So who wants to take Felipe's
either
lore? Go ahead. Anybody?
Either way.
Oh,
I can do it.
Okay. Yeah, so the Darksaber was created by the clan Vizsla in ancient times. He was a Jedi and a Mandalorian.
Tar Vizsla.
Thank you. Who created the Darksaber and essentially led Mandalore to greatness. And then it's kind of like a mythology built behind this weapon, that whoever wields that saber, it's kind of like if you ever watched Lord of the Rings, it's the whole thing with the sword is the sword of the king. You know, it can be shattered and reforged, but it's still the sword of the king.
Excalibur.
So Excalibur, or the Elder Wand in Harry Potter that was Dumbledore's wand. Yeah. It's that same kind of thing. It's an icon.
Perfect representation of the marriage of the Jedi and the Mandalorian creed, as one thing being he's a Jedi, but he also had the Mandalorian creed. It's like there's symbology in everything, and he created the Darksaber for that. So anybody who wields it rules Mandalore but because he was a Jedi, it was a saber also. So
Yeah,
just happened to be
And
a
it-
saber.
So awesome.
It also, it doesn't mean that he has any kind that whoever wields it doesn't have any kind of special power or anything
No.
like that. It's purely a symbol.
It's
And that's
symbolic.
what I think having Grogu wield it eventually will make him
Going back to
the
that
master.
Jedi Mandalorian thing.
So we've seen
partnership.
the Vizslas have had it.
Yeah.
We've seen Sabine Wren has held on to it.
And Rebels,
Bo-Katan has had it. Darth Maul has had
Darth
it.
Maul
Has had it. And that's how he ruled
Moff
Mandalore
Gideon's
for a
had it
while.
now,
That was cool.
so
Moff Gideon had it.
Freaking awesome.
Maul ruling Mandalore is dope, right? And that's what one day we want to hear why the armorer has horns on her helmet, because that's usually a Mandalorian thing.
Right.
Maybe it's not at all related, but it'd be cool to hear something.
It really would be cool to tie it all in. It really would. Like, 'cause she's the last member of that.
And another difference, in it from any other sabers is you can't control it like a regular saber.
Right.
Yeah, there's a technique built into it to where
it's got
he
weight
has-
to
yeah.
it, and it's
you have to, it's like what's it called, like the drunken master technique, where you stumble forward, you go with that momentum. It's kind of like
I almost wonder if that's not necessarily a non-Jedi. That might be a Jedi thing too. We just don't see it. Like I kind of feel like they say there has such weight in the blade, and you have to learn how to deal with it. And that's why it takes so much training. I don't know that I've ever heard it. Maybe they've explained it that way, but I didn't visualize it that way. That did, because last season in the Boba Fett season, when he was fighting the armorer and fighting heavy Mando Paz. That was awesome, dude. And he had that cut on his leg because he couldn't control it.
how he injured himself, right?
Oh man, it is good. I just wonder if that is specific to non-Force users. And Force users maybe just have an easier way.
I would think so.
Well,
I would think
wait.
so.
Wait.
Okay,
because,
then how did Moff Gideon control it? Then he was controlling it.
He knows. He studied it. I mean, you can learn it. Like Armor was telling, she did it. She's not a Jedi.
Yeah. Sabine went through the same thing. Sabine wasn't a Jedi, and actually a lot of the dialogue between Kanan and Sabine was the same. Go with the weight of the saber. You can feel the weight of the saber. Go with it, use it, and
it's a technique.
A lot of
to
that
learn.
same dialogue.
That's where it was. That was the exact conversation about the weight and how to control it, and that's it. So that was some of the Armorer stuff has been the coolest Star Wars stuff too. Legitimately the coolest story. We all like lore and story.
When you get into those things, and like I was talking before, where this series goes from different from just if you're just making a 7, 8, and 9 just for the sake of doing the same thing over and again. This version to me is a version of 7, 8, and 9 that we wanted, and it's completely different, but being very familiar and doing different types of things is what I think we clamored for years before Lucas went and did 1, 2, and 3. Right? We always talked about what happened the day after Endor. Yes, we have the books, but I mean, it's just a very, very, very good ride.
So good.
Yeah.
Moff Gideon probably trained with it a lot since he's so obsessed with Mandalorians.
Yes,
and he was also the ISB agent assigned to Mandalore too. Whenever Mandalore was
know your enemy, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
So
there was an Imperial, because Sabine was on. They had an Imperial Academy on Mandalore.
Yes,
because Sabine was in the academy. So I mean,
her brother. Her brother was one of the Mandalorian super commandos.
Yes,
dude. Now I'm gonna watch. I don't want to wait for Ahsoka. I want to watch the Rebels now.
Rebels, watch Rebels.
Yeah. Oh,
it's great, so Mandalorian heavy, and that's where we're introduced to a lot of these ideas too. It's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
Because originally in the Clone Wars, whenever the Darksaber was revealed, it was in the hands of Death Watch. And I think it was another pre-Vizsla. Pre-Vizsla was the wielder of the man.
That's where we got introduced to it in Rebels.
And then
he was chasing Fen Rao, and he didn't have it, so it went from him to Sabine.
Did Maul? No, Maul killed. Maul killed. Yeah, Maul killed pre-Vizsla. Yeah. So anyway,
no, that's fantastic. Oh my god.
And then Maul had it for a long time, and Sabine found it in Maul's cave. Right?
Yes.
That's what
she didn't win it.
No, she didn't win it. She was given it, right? And then she gifted it to Bo. Because Bo did not win it either. And that's where the curse came from.
Right.
And that's where, if he wasn't won in battle, that's why Bo-Katan is the cautionary tale.
Yeah.
Yes. See, there's so much. It's not just cartoons. That's why when we complain about certain like Bad Batch just being a cartoon sometimes, or like Resistance only a cartoon, all the other cartoons have given us so much stuff to really dive into, where we can't accept it as only being a cartoon. So that's why we get passionate about certain things. Yeah.
Miss Sunflower says the majority of the shots in the trailer were from this episode.
Yeah, I looked at that too. Yeah, because that gets me excited. I'm like, all right, cool. So we got most of this, the most stuff we already know out of the way. What's next, right? Where is the, yeah.
So,
but
much.
Sabine didn't fight Gar Saxon for the Darksaber though. She didn't. No, that's right, because he did have it in his hand, didn't it? And I'm trying to remember that segment, because I don't remember if she had the Darksaber and Gar Saxon.
I thought she had it. Yeah, he might have. Maybe he took it from her for a minute, didn't it? Something like that. I'm gonna go rewatch it. So
yeah,
we'll find out.
Those episodes are great to watch
because she found it was literally on his desk when they were doing the whole. It was during the holocron deal, right? Wasn't that the deal? When they were, Ezra found it. One of them found it and brought it I forget. But anyway, it was during the holocron piece when they were seeing about Kenobi, when they were breaking the holocrons apart.
They were on Dathomir.
Yes.
They were on Dathomir, and they were trying to get away from the spirits of the witches. And I think they had to exit the cave because Kanan was possessed by the spirit of one of the witches, and I think Ezra was possessed by one of the spirits of the Night Sisters. And on her way out,
the pyramid one,
the saber was sitting on just like an altar in Maul's cave.
Yeah,
but then to Miss Sunflower, but she fought Gar Saxon where Sabine used Ezra's lightsaber. Maybe there was something in there. Either way, she's not the curse. Bo is, because when Sabine does get it, she gives it to Bo, and Bo didn't fight Sabine for it.
No.
So that's the issue. That's why she's the cautionary tale. They never say Sabine.
Right. Yeah,
although I would love to hear about the Ren. See, when they talked about the staff and weapons to fight Mandalorians, that would have been like, oh, have you ever heard the tale of Sabine Wren? The weapon she made for the Empire, and give a tale about that, And I would be like, oh shit, we're really bringing this full circle.
That'd be cool. That would be
all
right.
so much to do, but oh man, how are we topping this? If Chris is telling me that hold on, how are we topping this?
Well, dude, I want to have a conversation with Chris after we're done broadcasting here. I want to know some of these details.
Are you sure? I know Joey wants to know.
I don't. I don't want to know like some of the cool like I asked Chris, I go, give me something small, like give me something that like a whet your appetite. Hold my beer.
Just a tip.
Just the thing I like to hear walking into a bar. Okay, so
give me something small. Wet my.
But anyway, guys,
wet me up and get me something small.
All right, before this goes completely different direction. Well, let's get out of here. I think this was a great segment between the two shows that we got. I hold so much faith in Mandalorian moving forward. I hold more faith in Bad Batch moving forward, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up. I think this is the one that we got, and I think. But anyway,
the next 2 months are going to be ridiculous for both. The next 5 weeks for Bad Batch, the next month for this. It's unreal.
And we're here for the ride. So next week we were going to be celebrating our 200th episode of actual episodes. I don't know if we're doing anything other than talking Mando. That's what we do anyway. And Bad Batch, so I'm like, it's just going to be a number. But of course,
we'll wear party hats though.
Yeah, we'll dress up nice for that.
We'll wear buckets.
We should wear shirts and ties.
I don't
pound a gallon of tie.
I don't own shirt and ties.
Guys, I have tons of ties, many Star Wars ties.
Reason for me to
Star Wars Wars ties. I've got all sorts of them. So yeah.
I have Groundhog Day ties, 4th of July ties, Thanksgiving ties, Christmas, whatever you want.
All right, cool. All right. But yeah, so we'll be doing that. Be sure to hit a like on this and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Tell a friend. Let's get the conversation going. You can also, we'll probably keep the conversation going over on our Facebook Central on the Star Like That, just Facebook Central. Instagram, all that stuff. I mean, just keep us social medias. We got you covered. But other
TikTok,
than that,
Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Shorts, you name it, man. Just look up Sarlacc Digest Central. Or Sarlacc Digest Podcast. You'll find us.
Yep,
that's what I just said.
All of that. So if you just go on if you guys just go to Twitter or Instagram or Facebook Central. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
All right, guys. Well, thank you,
Joey,
everybody in the pit. Everybody in the pit. Don't do it, Joey. Be my friend. So, it's anything else? Anything else that you guys want to?
No, just wrap it up so I can tell you the spoilers.
I don't want to hear them, so I'm trying to stall.
Yeah, you do.
I want to hear one spoiler.
Yeah, we'll get. All right, guys.
Well,
with that, Scott,
my specialty.
Keep it nerdy, everybody. Keep it nerdy.
The small